cities that don't help to round up illegal immigrants. After a hearing Monday, City Attorney Ed Siskel said legal experts agree that Sessions is overstepping his authority.
There are law enforcement agencies, there are former and current prosecutors and law enforcement officials all around the country who have weighed in saying that these conditions need to be struck down.
Justice Department attorneys say the city doesn't have to apply for the grants if they don't like the rules. The city wants a ruling that applies to all cities and counties threatened by the Justice Department. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg doesn't intend on quitting the bench anytime soon, and she made that statement last night here in Chicago at Roosevelt University, saying there is still work to be done on the nation's highest court. Former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich speaking out for the first time since entering prison for corruption 5 years ago. In an interview with Chicago Magazine, Blagojevich says he now believes he never crossed any lines seeking to raise campaign contributions. You may recall Blagojevich is serving 14 years in a Colorado federal prison for multiple crimes, including trying to peddle to the highest bidder an Illinois U.S. Senate seat once held by Barack Obama. Hundreds of Illinois linemen are among the thousands of utility crews working to restore power in Florida. Crews from Ameren and Mid-American Energy left yesterday, joining ComEd crews helping 6.5 million people who don't have the power on in Florida. Bloomington's mayor isn't back in his city hall seat. Mayor Tari Renner missed his second straight city council meeting last night. The mayor took a leave of absence last month for undisclosed medical reasons, and Renner's leave comes amid an investigation from the Illinois State Police on how and why the city paid for his girlfriend to attend a Sister Cities event in Japan earlier this summer. Nearly 9 in 10 people in Cook County say they've seen the new television commercials touting the health benefits of the new soda tax, and nearly 9 in 10 say they don't believe them. A new poll released yesterday shows 87.5% people who were asked think Cook County leaders approved the tax for other reasons. Auto mechanics around Chicagoland at about 140 area dealerships continue to stay off the job. Members of the Automobile Mechanics Local 701 rejected the latest offer from the group representing dealerships. The union is demanding some higher wages and pension benefits. Bears wideout Kevin White heading for the IR, suffering a fractured shoulder blade, better known as your scapula. Sunday's season-opening loss to Atlanta. He'll be placed on IR. His Bears career could be over. Jose Abreu went 4 for 5 with 2 RBI, leading a 17-hit attack in the White Sox whipping of the Royals at 11-3. The news, a service of Amita Health. Amita Health includes 9 hospitals, 6 immediate care centers, and 78 outpatient locations in the west and northwest suburbs. Visit amitahealth.org/YOU or call 855-MY-AMITA. 5:07. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The biggest conservative event in Chicago is back. It's Freedom Summit 2017, and it's coming to the Westin Chicago Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, November 11th, and it's bigger than ever. This year, see best-selling author and filmmaker Dinesh D'Souza, along with Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North, Larry Elder, Joe Walsh, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and many more. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Automated Systems Incorporated.
What do you call charging thousands of dollars for hearing aids? I call it outrageous, because hearing should not be a privilege for the rich. It's a basic right everyone deserves. Hi, I'm Dr. Chira Curry, board-certified ear, nose, and throat physician. If you or a loved one suffer from hearing loss but can't afford thousands for a hearing aid, I created MD Hearing Aid for you, a high-quality medical-grade hearing aid for a fraction of that price.
Try MD Hearing Aid at home, risk-free for 45 days. Call 1-800-300-0868.
No costly doctor's visit. No expensive and time-consuming fittings or appointments. No ugly, old-fashioned hearing aid that costs thousands. MD Hearing Aid is an FDA-registered, audiologist-tested hearing aid that's discreet and lets you hear what you've been missing at a savings of more than 80% off the average price of a traditional hearing aid.
Try MD Hearing Aid risk-free for 45 days. Call 1-800-300-0868. Plus, you'll get free shipping and free batteries for a year. 1-800-300-0868.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So, what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield. We cover major components of air conditioners, plus 20 other home systems and appliances, like electrical systems, plumbing, refrigerators, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. That's 1-800-400-6096. 1-800-400-6096.
5:09, and a check of the roads this early morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. Things are happily quiet on most of the expressways and tollways. Most of the overnight construction is gone. There are no crashes to report. There's still some work on the Tri-State Tollway. Southbound North Avenue to St. Charles, got a left lane closed till 6 this morning. No delays there. In both directions, the right lane is closed between near Cicero and near the CalSag Bridge. There's also work on the outbound Rhine from 87th to the split in the 3 left lanes. Elsewhere, things look good. You'll have Cubs traffic on the north side tonight when they play the Mets. And playoff baseball traffic in Schaumburg. The Boomers play Florence at the Championship Series of the Frontier League at 6:35. Traffic service of Uber. This time of year is tough balancing free time with wanting to earn extra money. Get your side hustle on. Drive with Uber to earn extra money on your time when it works for you. Sign up today at uber.com/drive now. Certain restrictions apply. See site for details. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Sunshine through high clouds throughout the day today with a high getting up to 76. Then it will turn out to be a partly cloudy night for tonight with a shower in a few spots after midnight, low of 59. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
Currently, we have 61 degrees. Your next news update is at 5:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you sure your business is being seen online? Visit BeingSeen360.com to discover how being seen online can improve traffic, leads, and sales. BeingSeen360.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And so, Amy, the Blagojevich interview that we talked about yesterday, in your absence.
Yes.
With Kristen McQuarrie, who opined on it, released at 10 o'clock yesterday. Chicago Magazine did it in conjunction with NBC5. Phil Rogers, longtime reporter there, did the phone interview of one disgraced, imprisoned former Illinois governor.
But first of all, NBC, shame on them. They kept saying the first TV interview. It was not a TV interview. It was a phoner.
It was audio played on TV.
I know, because the warden said no, he doesn't want a television camera in there. But so he allowed them 2 one-hour interviews where they could just, do whatever they want in the hour, and that was it. And so Phil Rogers flew to Denver, sat outside the federal prison, did some stand-ups, but they teased all along that it was a jailhouse interview, and it wasn't. So I just had to get that off my chest.
Sure. No,
Journalism 101. Don't lie to your listeners.
Well, why should they stop now? Blago in prison is the piece in Chicago Magazine. Tweeted it out at Dan Proft and all that jazz. And I asked yesterday, what do you think, this is going to be a blockbuster, something revelatory, or a nothing burger? I suggested it would be a nothing burger. As is custom, I was correct.
Oh, No, it's not a nothing burger. I find
What's stunning about it?
well, of course, he still maintains his innocence because we'll see that this is a 3-parter with Phil Rogers, and you could read it in Chicago Magazine. Still maintains his innocence.
Is that stunning?
No, that's not stunning. But
So
listening,
what's the stunning part?
for me, is how his life in prison, those first few days when he got there.
You walk in, your heart's broken, and then you're in there, and they close the gates on you, and you're in prison, and you're yearning for your children and for your wife and for home, and you're looking at 14 years. You can't even see the flicker of a light at the end of the tunnel.
14 years. And his first night, he told Chicago Magazine, too, that he was drenched in sweat, that people were snoring, it was loud, and he was crying. He was saying, what the F, how did I get here?
Yeah, no, I saw Shawshank Redemption, too. So I get the stylized version of Blagojevich's life, which continues. And the thing that I was struck by...
Is that he mops floors?
No. Is that he doesn't come across as having an authentic thought or an authentic experience.
Well,
I think so much of this, if not all of it, is contrived. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
First question from Phil Rogers. How you doing? What's going on? How you doing? What are you doing?
Governor, I think my first question is a really simple one. I think a lot of people just want to know, how are you doing, and can you tell us what you do there at the Correctional Center?
Well, I mean, I take every day, one day at a time, and I have a purpose. My purpose is very simple, that I have to be strong and deal with this affliction and accept the fate that's been assigned to me in a manful way.
Deal with this affliction. He invoked Viktor Frankl, a Man's Search for Meaning. Viktor Frankl was imprisoned in a Nazi concentration camp in Auschwitz.
Well, he feels imprisoned in his own way because
that's not in his own way. He's in prison. Viktor Frankl. Then Blagojevich and his relationship with the other inmates.
Yeah, they started a rock band, remember?
Yeah.
Jailhouse Rock?
Yeah, here's where he turns into Andy Dufresne.
The young drug dealers in particular, and some of the guys who robbed banks, their backgrounds weren't very promising. They went in the wrong direction. They made great mistakes. And some of them were on the verge of going home. And so I spent a lot of time with several of them, walking around the track and actually doing mock job interviews, helping them try to make their case to a prospective employer that they should not hold them, not be prejudiced against them because they've been incarcerated, but actually to try to convince a prospective employer that this terrible affliction they've gone through, the loss they've suffered, the opportunity they've had to learn and grow, there's actually something that could be marketable.
He's a guidance
admirable. Yeah, he should be. When he got to prison, the prisoners, instead of beating him up and gangbanging him in the bathroom or in the shower, were honored that he was there.
A little early in the morning.
Well, don't drop the soap. But no, they gave him toiletries. They gave him, toilet paper. They said, "Here, we're glad you're here." And what he taught history of the Civil War. He taught history of World War II. He said, he's got various jobs, but they have term limits on each job that you have. But he's tried to help other inmates. That's not...
Well, that's right. And you know what?
That's admirable.
Yeah, and I take him at face value because this is a person who's an honest person.
Well, look,
this is a person who would never lie, and so we should consume all of the stylized answers that Rod Blagojevich gives, just as we consumed his political propaganda when we sent him to the Springfield governor's mansion for 2 terms. Because nobody, especially Rod Blagojevich, would tell you something that is any less than 100% authentic. We should bring no skepticism to the table, right? No skepticism.
He committed a crime. He committed a sin, but it is
crimes, plural.
Crimes, but it does not warrant 14 years in jail.
Don't even start there. Don't even start that. I'm asking a question and I want an answer to it. This is where I want the conversation to go before you do your, pardon and let's come up with a plan to break Rod Blagojevich out of prison nonsense. Should we believe everything Rod Blagojevich says? Should we take it all at face value? Forget the crimes, after all of the lying during his entirety of life in public office in this city and state, we're just supposed to take it in, hook, line, and sinker, everything he has to say about how he's approaching prison and the example he's trying to be to his children and how he's doing these corporal works of mercy to his fellow inmates. We're not supposed to take any of that, view any of that with a jaundiced eye. He's earned the benefit of the doubt.
I think he's paid for his sins.
So that's a no.
He's paid
That's a
for
no.
his sins, and he's forgiven people through Christianity.
My Christian faith instructs me that forgiveness is mandatory.
Right.
I'm urged to be that way, and it's been liberating to not hold grudges. And, I don't like the people that have done this to me, but I won't hate them. I refuse to hate them. Hate is toxic.
Yeah. And then he also referenced, because it's so authentic.
What, Al Capone?
No, he referenced Kipling. Again, he referenced Kipling in the one poem he's ever read on his way to jail, and now he's referenced it 6 years after being in jail. I mean, I'm glad he read Kipling and had exposure to it and memorized a few lines from If. I thought when he lamented the death of his boy Jack in World War I, that was a little much. That's a little bit too much, adopting Kipling's life for his own. But okay. Okay, so Viktor Frankl and Kipling, the same, the lines from Kipling that we heard during the trial. 6 years later, it's the same rap. It's the same rap from this guy. He's a snake oil salesman.
What, did you want contrition? I mean, would you want him to say, you know what, I messed up, I'm sorry?
No, what do I want?
Yeah.
I want honesty. I want, I want authentic contrition. I don't want these canned answers that he's memorized and regurgitated for the better part of the last decade. And I have zero empathy for this guy. Zero empathy for this guy. And people who listen to this maudlin nonsense from him and have a complete blank slate in terms of their memory of what this guy did as a public official. And I'm not even talking about the things for which he went to federal prison. I'm talking about his entirety of time in public office in this state. The scams that he ran, what he did to this state, a state that he has a substantial responsibility for its current financial predicament, its current political cultural predicament, the fact that half of the people in this state want to leave, which there is no more damning commentary in Illinois than
right, but is that all his fault?
It is the state where it is the leading state in the nation where its residents want to leave, and the margin is wide. And did I say it was all his fault? No. What I said is he bears significant responsibility. He was in office as a congressman for half a dozen years before he was a governor for half a dozen years. Mm-hmm. There's no culpability. We shouldn't remember that at all. We should just remember his answers in his interview with Phil Rogers. How you doing? What are you up to? Probing stuff.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
So how are Patty and the kids? That is fascinating. They see him 3 times a year. That's it. And we'll also take your phone calls, 312-642-5600. What did you think of the Blagojevich interview? First, though, here's your forecast. Beautiful day, sunshine throughout the day. A few high clouds, but no big deal. A high of 76 degrees. Then tonight, partly cloudy with a shower and spots. Yes, remnants of Hurricane Irma are approaching Illinois. And then tomorrow, clouds giving way to some sun with a shower in place as well. A high of 73 degrees. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here is Jim Delamonte.
Good morning, Amy. Welcome back. Good morning, Dan. Inbound I-57, it's heavy already from 111th to the Ryan. It's 25 minutes from I-80 to the Burns. Bishop Ford is 17 minutes. And the inbound Ryan is getting a little tight from 18th into downtown. Just a 1 or 2 minute delay. Other expressways are looking pretty good right now. There's some road work on the Tri-State Tollway in both directions. The Cal-Sag Bridge and Cicero, also southbound in the area between North Avenue and St. Charles. A left lane closure there. Otherwise, things are pretty quiet. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Looking to secure financing on a new home? Then you need to do what I did and call David Hochberg to get approved to purchase a home before speaking with a realtor. Other lenders will words are hard sometimes. Other lenders will pre-approve or pre-qualify you, which are worthless, whereas David will approve you to purchase a home. David will approve you to purchase a home so you'll know exactly what you can afford. And with a Team Hochberg loan approval, your offer will stand out because you'll be able to choose within 10 business days of signing a contract. I mean, close within 10 business days of signing a contract. As long as there's no appraisal or title challenge and the condo is available for you to purchase that place. Now, a Team Hochberg approval is the best next thing to a cash offer. So here's what you do. If you want to get approved and have an approval letter, call David Hochberg right now, 312-751-1333, or visit am560david.com. David has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but he can't help you if you don't call. 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee, 4358, NMLS 19186.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-3585. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-3585. Again, that's 1-800-600-3585.
One thing I know for sure is that so many of our Morning Answer listeners get a great night's sleep. That's because so many of you have purchased MyPillows and saved a lot of money. Now, if you don't sleep on a MyPillow, I suggest you act now. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available anywhere. It's the 50% discount on the MyPillow 4-pack, including 2 premium MyPillows and my favorite 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, all 50% off. Now, you can move the fill to give you the support you need. You will wake up feeling refreshed, ready to tackle your day. And guess what? You'll be resting your head on something that's made in America. You can wash and dry them. They're hypoallergenic. 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. And True Patriot and founder Mike Lindell donated 60,000 pillows to Texas flood victims. So get your 50% off the 4-pack, Buy American, by going to MyPillow.com, promo code Amy, A-M-Y, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance, but they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or AutomatedSYS.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, and talking about the Blagojevich interview where he, I don't know, he gives glimpses into a lot of your favorite characters from prison movies.
He is buff, though. I mean, he works out every day, runs 2 to 3 miles, does push-ups, and he reads. But when he's not doing that, he's mopping the floors, and this did make me laugh. This is his new job, his new life.
You have limits on how long you can stay into a job. There's term limits on the jobs now, right? So now my job is I've been given the jurisdiction to sweep and mop 2 floors. So my jurisdiction has shrunk from the 5th biggest state in America to these 2 floors. But I don't care what anybody says, Phil. I believe in clean government, and I believe in clean floors.
That was a little cheeky.
That
was cringeworthy. That I went, but
Right.
that's Rob Blagojevich. I mean, he's a caricature of himself. He's goofy.
Preternaturally incapable of not running a scam. These are political, and these are politicians' answers. He was being interviewed like he was still governor. Politically correct, saccharine answers. As you said, cringeworthy punchlines. I believe in clean government. I believe in clean floors. That's Rod Blagojevich.
What about Patty and the kids, though? Or do you want to get to that later? It is Amy Blagojevich's 21st birthday today.
Joe in Oak Lawn, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, guys. Good morning. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Joe.
Good morning.
I have to disagree with you, Dan, this morning. I actually agree with Amy. I have a little bit more empathy for what's going on with him. He's been in jail for quite some time now. His family. What he did was wrong. We get that. But what politician in Illinois doesn't do that? You know, and if you really want to dig deep, look into Mayor Daley. Yeah, I'm sure you could find a little bit of skeletons in his closet as well.
Well, Joe, I stipulate to your point that other politicians are corrupt and they've gotten away with what Rod Blagojevich did not get away with. But that doesn't make me have empathy for the fact that he got caught any more than the murderers who get away with committing murder in the city of Chicago makes me have empathy for the murderers who were caught. I mean,
He's been in for 6 years now. He got a 14-year sentence. That's ridiculous. They threw the book at him because that's what they wanted to do, and it's a shame, and he should be out.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Joe.
And on the day that this interview aired, 2 people from his neighborhood, from the 1900 block of West Sunnyside, these 2 guys, no, look at them, Dan. They murdered a 19-year-old girl, stabbed her to death in an alley. Look, they each got 8 years in prison. 8 years.
So
I mean, he's not a murderer. This was a nonviolent crime. He gets 14 years.
So the response should be that murderers shouldn't get 8 years, not that Rod Blagojevich should necessarily get less.
It's just a comparison of how, there's different rules for different people.
And right. And so the governor of the state is held to a higher standard, particularly coming off of George Ryan, when it comes to public integrity. And so he knew that going in. He failed it. He got a severe punishment. Boo fracking who? You know who I have empathy for? Rod Blagojevich's victims.
Who are his victims?
13 million Illinoisans. Rod in Salem, Wisconsin.
Hey, guys. Good morning. I grew up in Chicago, love Chicago, but it ain't the city I grew up in. It's because of politicians like him. And comparing it to different crimes like that's a crime. They all need to be in jail next to him. Number one, he makes me sick to my stomach. He thinks he's smart as a fox with those answers. People aren't stupid. Affliction? What is he, a martyr?
Yeah, exactly.
And the other thing I'd like to ask, is he getting any money like Jesse Jackson Jr.?
No.
Taxpayer money?
No, he's not. Thanks for the call, Ron. Appreciate that. Yeah. The stylized answers. People aren't that stupid, although you can excuse Rod Blagojevich for believing they are. Don't forget, he was elected twice to governor of the state, including the second time when he was under federal investigation and everyone knew it.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
A protest at Reed College where the professors walk out on the students for a change at 5:38.
And Bad Boss, Pizza Hut owner in Jacksonville, Florida, under fire this morning for making his employees stay during the hurricane. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
61 degrees, Trump administration notching a big win in the ongoing legal battle over the president's travel ban. The Supreme Court blocking a lower court ruling that allowed some refugees with formal assurances to enter the country. Full Supreme Court is scheduled to hear arguments on broader issues involving the ban next month. North Korea being punished by the UN Security Council, but not as hard as the U.S. wanted. 15-member panel hit the North with new sanctions, measure limiting the amount of oil North Korea can import and bans the country from exporting textiles. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders is again defending President Trump's firing of FBI Director James Comey.
Went outside of the chain of command and politicized an investigation into a presidential candidate.
Sanders was pressed about former White House advisor Steve Bannon's comments on 60 Minutes. In case you're interested, the new iPhone launches today. I have an Apple iPhone 5, so, whatever. Apple's set to hold an event in California. We were watching oil prices today, holding steady as traders assess how Hurricanes Irma and Harvey are impacting supply and demand. Family of a Chicago woman desperately wants answers after she was found dead over the weekend in a hotel freezer in suburban Rosemont. Authorities have not said how she died or why Kanika Jenkins was in that freezer in a vacant area of the hotel. We told you earlier this hour that Mayor Emanuel's losing one of his top aides. Mike Rendina leaving to to accept a private sector opportunity, however, just in time to help Mayor Emanuel run for re-election should he want to. Billionaire Michael Bloomberg is ready to do whatever it takes, he says, to support the backers of Cook County's sweetened beverage tax. A spokesman for the former mayor of New York says he's prepared to spend millions in Chicago to ensure elected officials who, he says, stood up to the soda industry are reelected next year. White Sox beat the Royals 11-3. Cubs open up a set with the Mets tonight. And the news, a service of Amita Health. Amita Health includes 9 hospitals, 6 immediate care centers, and 78 outpatient locations in the west and northwest suburbs. Visit amitahealth.org/YOU or call 855-MY-AMITA. 534, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher gets a bad feeling about the North Korea situation.
My instincts generally serve me pretty well. I'm going to just tell you flat out, I have a very bad feeling about what Kim Jong-un is up to. And it's on him. But I have a bad feeling about this little chubby, weird dictator of North Korea.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
The war on depression is over.
You win.
Depression, with all the drugs and side effects, the endless counseling, the frustration with life and relationships.
The war is over. You win.
In a few short weeks, your life will change.
It's TMS therapy.
Over 1 million people have been treated, and the results are nothing short of outstanding. It's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare.
Most drugs and other treatments just mask the depression.
TMS treats the cause, so you can win the war with your depression. Remission or cure.
Depression gone.
Get a free consultation at one of the HPR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin. Ask questions.
For you or someone you love, safe, revolutionary, effective treatment for depression.
Let depression recovery begin. HPR centers.
800-604-0208. 800-604-0208.
Go to endmydepression.com.
535. Let's check the roads this morning, and we do that in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center and get the latest information for you from Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. It's a little heavy on the inbound Eisenhower now from 25th Avenue to 17th. It's 30 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. Outbound fine at 29. No delays to report yet on the Edens from Kennedy. About Stevenson, heavy starting around 1st Avenue. 41 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. It's clear outbound. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57 is heavy. Delays starting at 115th. 35 minutes from I-80 to the merge. Bishopport at 22. Tollways are looking good. There is some road work on the southbound Tri-State from North Avenue to St. Charles on the left lane. And in both directions, between near Cicero and the Cal-Sag Bridge, there's work in the right lane. Northwest Indiana's fine. Traffic is a service of Uber. This time of year is tough, balancing free time with wanting to earn extra money. Get your side hustle on and drive with Uber to earn extra money on your time when it works for you. Sign up today at uber.com/drive now. Certain restrictions apply. See site for details. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Pleasant day ahead, plenty of sunshine. I-75 clear and 56 overnight. Right now, 61 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Your next news at 6, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Indulge in the specialties of over 20 restaurants at Gourmet on the Green, a fun family event on Thursday, September 14th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Village Greens of Woodridge. Enjoy food, spirits, and gift card raffles. Tickets on sale now at chamber630.com.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and we'll go from Rod Blagojevich's Miss America answers to actual Miss America answers. Miss America Sunday night.
Yeah, congratulations, North Dakota. It's a first.
Yeah. Although you may want to withhold your congratulations until you hear Miss North Dakota's answer to her question. Very politicized question.
Yeah.
Let me give you a little taste of it here. The Russian collusion question.
Really?
To Miss Missouri.
Your question will come from Miss Jordan Sparks.
Okay. There are multiple investigations into whether Trump's campaign colluded with Russia on the election. Well, did they? You're the jury. Guilty or innocent? And please explain your verdict.
What? Right now, I'd have to say innocent because not enough information has been revealed. We are still investigating this, and I think we should investigate it to its fullest extent. And if we do find the evidence that they have had collusion with Russia, then they should, the justice system should do their due diligence, and they should be punished accordingly.
That was okay.
I tell you
what, I should get an 8 from me out of 10. 8 out of 10.
It's better answers than we get from Adam Schiff.
Hey-o!
And I also think that the Sunday talk shows would be better if they had the musical beds while the pundits are answering questions.
Right, because they're on a clock.
Limited to 30 seconds, and you get a musical bed.
Go.
And Jordan Sparks asks all the questions.
Jordan Sparks.
There's your Russian collusion question from Miss Missouri.
All right, love it.
Your Charlottesville question from Miss Texas.
Last month, a demonstration of neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and the KKK in Charlottesville, Virginia, turned violent, and a counter-protester was killed. The president said there was shared blame with, quote, very fine people on both sides. Were there? Tell me yes or no and explain.
I think that the white supremacist issue, it was very obvious that it was a terrorist attack. And I think that President Donald Trump should have made a statement earlier addressing the fact and making sure all Americans feel safe in this country. That is the number one issue right now.
Okay, I felt he should have addressed it head on Saturday and mentioned it as well.
I'm sorry, you're not a contestant. Nobody asked you the question.
I missed Mount Prospect.
Miss Mount Prospect, 1962.
Hey, I wasn't born yet.
Charlottesville, by the way, the president didn't say there were fine people on both sides. That's not what he said.
He said there are good people on both sides.
He said there were also good people there. Yeah, right. The people that were just there to,
okay,
advocate for Southern heritage or whatever. So it's a little bit of a misstatement. Miss Texas, fine. She gets a passing grade.
Well, what I give her an 8.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, now where are you taking
Miss
me to?
North Dakota, the winner. Now you're about to find out why she won.
195 countries signed the Paris Agreement, in which each country sets non-binding goals to reduce man-made climate change. The U.S. is withdrawing from the agreement, citing negligible environmental effects and negative economic impact. Good decision? Bad decision? Which is it and why?
I do believe it's a bad decision. Once we reject that, thank you. Once we reject that, we take ourselves out of the negotiation table, and that's something that we really need to keep in mind. There is evidence that climate change is existing, so whether you believe it or not, we need to be at that table, and I think it's just a bad decision on behalf of the United States. Thank you.
Wasn't that bad? It's just we need to have a seat at the table.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hard position to put people in. Is that what she breaks out in her jazz routine? Gotta sing, gotta dance. That's what she did. I watched her routine.
Is that what it was?
I still watch the Miss America pageant, but don't tell anybody.
Right, with the kind of, it should have been me. Yeah, every year it should have been me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I could have done that. And then Miss New Jersey. To round out the finalists, got the Confederate statues question.
A recent poll found slightly over half of Americans favored leaving Confederate statues in place, while others want them removed. Keep them or get rid of them. What's your vote and why?
I don't think that the answer is to get rid of these statues. I think the answer is to relocate them into museums, because we are truly defined by our country's history, and I don't think it's something that we need to forget. We need to always remember it and honor our history of America, because it truly makes us who we are as Americans, but they should be moved to museums. Thank you.
Oh, look at that. It's the Dan Proft answer. That's what you said, too.
Yeah, I know.
The statues should be carefully deconstructed and put back together in museums so people can go. Did you help her? Did you guide her?
She helped me. I think it would have been better if I had given my answer in a ball gown, though.
Oh, right,
I think
right.
that's what I was missing. And a sash.
Don't forget the Spanx.
So, I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, Miss North Dakota gives you the customary answer. I mean, these people don't know anything, and I'm talking about the judges.
Okay.
And so, these young girls, it was fine. I mean, for hyper-politicized questions, I thought it was kind of interesting. I don't remember the Miss America pageant being so hyper-political.
No.
And, don't you get sick of everything being hyper-politicized? I mean, the politics is kind of what I do 24/7. I get sick of it. Politics is not supposed to permeate every crevice of our national life. And Miss America, those 4 questions in a Miss America pageant.
Well, do you remember when there were simpler times, when there were simpler questions?
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
I'll tell you what, maybe that's...
And my guy, Mario Lopez, was trying to... I mean, he had a cringeworthy look on his face, too. Like, make this stop, please.
Yeah. I mean, so that was a political question. And, it's a complicated question, so you got a complicated answer.
I mean, really, how do you think she would have done with the Russian collusion question? Yeah.
Those were different times back when Miss South Carolina was... in the field,
and move real
but
quick.
I'm not making fun of.
Yeah,
I'm not making fun of
are.
Miss America pageant contestants. We have a very sharp young woman running for Attorney General who's a former Miss America, U of I grad, Harvard Law grad, Erica Harold. She's a Republican candidate for Attorney General in the state. So
she would have killed it up there on the stage.
They're talented girls. But that's my point to say I don't make fun of Miss America contestants for their answer. It's the pageant organizers and these hack celebrities who have no idea what they're asking either. They couldn't do any better job than the Miss America, but in fact, they would do worse than the Miss America contestants did answering those questions. But it's the nature of just hyper-politicizing everything. Everywhere I go, I got to be asked about the Russian collusion question. Come on. That to me it just takes the pageantry out of it.
Well,
and I'm one for...
I know you love your swimsuit competition.
Pageantry.
And
a talent competition, excuse me.
If this woman, Anita Green, becomes Miss Montana, you could see her soon on the pageant. First transgender to try and be Miss Montana. She's a University of Montana grad, went to law school as well. Anita Green, 26 years old, and don't know what she's going to do during the swimsuit competition. But she's competing among 20 contestants next Sunday night in Missoula, Montana. Not bad looking, right? I mean,
yeah, no.
I did have to investigate further and see the full body shot. Maybe it needs to work out a little more. Maybe. I'm just saying, it is about looks.
Yeah.
I don't mean to minimize her importance in this world, but
no.
Beauty pageants are about beauty, and not the beast.
I think that dude will be a big hit in Missoula.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
And if he wins the Miss Montana, I'm going to be upset. Because you guys have already taken over women's cycling. Not you guys, but transgenders already have. You got to stay out of our beauty pageants. Forecast for today, beautiful. Plenty of sunshine, a few high clouds, 76 degrees. Then tonight, a shower in spots, a low of 59. And for Wednesday, we're going to have clouds giving way to some sun with a shower in place, a high of 73 degrees. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy and Dan. On the Edens, it's clear right now. Kennedy inbound, though, a little heavy. Foster to Lawrence, about a 1-minute delay. The outbound side is still fine. Eisenhower inbound, slow Manheim to Harlem and Racine into the Burn Circle. 34 minutes, Thorndale to the post office downtown. Outbound fine at 29. Stevenson, delay start at First Avenue, 44 minutes, 3:55 to the drive. Bryan, 22 minutes, 95th to the loop. I-57, 31 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop 425, the tollways look great. and Northwest Indiana 2. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Have you ever heard someone say that the pro-life community is just really pro-birth? That is, we only care about a baby up until the moment he or she is born. Aid for Women, Chicago Pregnancy Centers, and Maternity Homes is proof that such a claim is fake news. Aid for Women provides housing, parenting classes, mentoring, and genuine friendship to pregnant women in need, allowing them to choose life and setting them on the path to financial security and independence. At Aid for Women, they believe that the solution to a crisis pregnancy is to remove the crisis, not the child. You can learn more about how you can help Aid for Women by visiting their webpage at helpaidforwomen.org. Or join me at Aid for Women's annual banquet featuring keynote speaker Cal Thomas, award-winning journalist and author, friend of the show. Thursday evening, September 14th at the Union League Club is that event. Go to helpaidforwomen.org for reservations or more information on Aid for Women's life-saving work. Again, that website, helpaidforwomen.org.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
Do you know the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers? We do. Do you know how to make your logo come alive and magnetically attract new, long-lasting customers? We do. And do you know how to ensure your logo is delivered on the right promotional items on time at a great price? We do. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Who are we? We're 4imprint, the nation's leading team to make your logo shine on your choice of thousands of promotional items. And right now, we want to share with you, for free, the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers. Discover them now by texting TOP to 642-642. Let us show you what a difference the right promotional items can make to help grow your brand. With 4imprint, you'll get high-quality products, exclusive items, popular brands, on-time delivery, and outstanding customer service. That's what we do. Discover the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers by texting TOP to 642-642. That's TOP to 642-642.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants. And that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-700-5593. That's 1-800-700-5593. 1-800-700-5593.
There's a place where you can get custom metal products. If you manage a commercial kitchen, hotel, condo building, or food-grade manufacturing plant, then no matter the type of metal or size of the project, the skillfully trained fabrication team at Vans Industrial has you covered.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Custom metal fabrication is the backbone of my company. We fabricate stainless steel countertops, wall coverings, hoods, landscape planter boxes, industrial fan housings, and more. Vans Industrial uses all types of alloys like carbon steel, aluminum, brass, and polished stainless steel. And we have a laser cutting machine. Our laser can customize almost any project. Our team can design, fabricate, and install your project today.
Call 219-931-4881 today for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS Industrial.com. Vans Industrial, customizing for you, the customer.
Gentlemen, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone and prostate numbers? I know my numbers. Low T made it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, I was able to get my results in minutes. And in honor of Prostate Health Month, Low T Center is offering a $50 testosterone and prostate level test in September. So, gentlemen, if you don't know your numbers, haven't met your deductible, or don't have insurance, you should take advantage of this limited time offer. I know at Low T Center they will take great care of you. Plus, it's quick, easy, and you'll get your results in about 20 minutes. Do yourself a favor and call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. Again, the number, 312-239-3427. 312-239-3427. And in honor of Prostate Health Month, Low T Center is offering a $50 testosterone and prostate level test in September. Call now or visit them online at lowtcenter.com. That's lowtcenter.com.
You're unique, so why is your mattress one size fits all? Because a custom mattress costs thousands, until now. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, where you can buy a mattress online, customized for you, for hundreds of dollars instead of thousands. Go to HelixSleep.com, answer a few simple questions, and we build you the most comfortable mattress you'll ever sleep on. Shipping is free, and you have 100 nights to try it out. Go to HelixSleep.com/talkradio and get $50 off your order. HelixSleep.com/talkradio.
Finding great people to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's time to try ZipRecruiter, where 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within one day. How? Using powerful technology, ZipRecruiter matches your job to the right candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. That's right, free. Just dial ***zip, and when prompted, say talk. For your free trial, dial ***947, keyword talk.
Two sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Go to IncomeStore.com today. That's IncomeStore.com.
Risk mitigation is an important consideration that smart companies pay attention to in today's complicated business climate. Some of the greatest risks occur when your company hires new employees or when you execute new business financial relationships. When your company hires, leases, or conducts financial transactions, decisions are critical. That's why veteran-owned and operated Global Verification Network is a company you should know. Startups to Fortune 100s trust Global Verification Network, and so should you. They're a background screening and investigative services company dedicated to expert, timely, and affordable background screening services for employment, tenant screening, and business due diligence. Global Verification Network is headquartered in Chicagoland, a federally recognized veteran-owned small business, and never offshores data like many competitors. To request your company's risk analysis without obligation or cost, visit globalverificationnetwork.com or call 877-695-1179. Or visit them online at globalverificationnetwork.com. Global Verification Network, the risk mitigation experts, 877-695-1179.
5:57. Let's get an update on the roads this morning. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens is still fine. Kennedy inbound, slow out of the River Road toll to Canfield. Looking at about 21 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound fine at 20. About Eisenhower, delays start at Manheim. It's 40 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. Outbound 31. Stevenson, 48 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 34. Ryan, 22 minutes from 95th to the Loop. I-57. 31 minutes. I-80 to the Merge. Bishop 425. Northbound Tri-State, it's now heavy. The Reagan tollway to the Eisenhower. The other tollways are looking fine. No delays to report in Northwest Indiana. Traffic is a service of Staples. Staples helps your business create color presentations for less. Now get 20% back in Staples Rewards on color copies, manuals, and presentations that are designed to impress. Staples, it's Pro Time. Offer ends 11/4/17. Exclusions apply. Go to staples.com/20color for more. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next with Dan and Amy after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, sun through high clouds, high 76. Tonight, partly cloudy with a shower in spots toward dawn, low 59. Clouds give way to some sun tomorrow with a shower in a few places, high 73. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
56 officially at O'Hare, 61 along the lakefront. Next news coming up again at 6. And the news, a service of LifeLock. Equifax recently announced a breach of 143 million identities, and you need to take steps to get protection. Be among the millions who trust their identity theft protection to LifeLock. Go to lifelock.com, promo code RISK for 10% off. 5:59, here are the stories we're following on AM 560, The Answer this morning. Family of a Chicago woman desperately seeking answers after she was found dead over the weekend in a hotel freezer in Rosemont. Mayor Emanuel losing a top aide, Mike Rendina leaving to accept a private sector opportunity. A man dead following a shooting in Dalton this early morning. U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg doesn't intend on quitting the bench anytime soon, telling a capacity crowd at Roosevelt University there is still work on the bench that needs to be done. Illinois' education secretary is leaving her post. Dr. Beth Purvis leaving the state to return to nonprofit work. White Sox beat the Royals 11-3 at Kauffman Stadium. Cubs open up a set with the Mets. More Dan and Amy after Fox News, WIND, Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
Some residents of the Florida Keys are headed back home. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I'm hot, I'm hungry, I'm tired. I know it's probably not that much better, but at least I'd be home.
Starting this hour as the sun rises, they'll let some people return to the hurricane-battered Keys. Governor Scott flew over it yesterday.
I just hope everybody, survived. It's horrible what we saw.
There's no power, little communication, food and water and gas said to be in short supply. Others in Florida are still sheltered. Millions remain without electricity. Fox's Jeff Manasso live in St. Petersburg.
Dave, we've seen power lines and trees scattered on roadways, damaged mobile home parks, even rising rivers here in the Tampa Bay area. In the long haul now to assess and to clean up.
A little bit frustrated because we can't do anything just yet. We have to wait till we get power disconnected so that we can get clearance to go ahead and remove the tree off the power line and the house.
This gentleman northwest of us in Pasco County using generators. Millions of people could be without power for weeks. Fuel supplies are being brought in, and they will need it as the 6 million people who fled this state flood I-75 in major corridors now to try to get home, Dave.
Now, Jeff, Irma's storm surge caused bad flooding in Jacksonville, also up to Charleston, South Carolina. It's now a tropical depression, still raining down.
We also see that risk of flooding extending westward to include Atlanta and northern Georgia, all the way into central and northern Alabama.
National Weather Service meteorologist Brian Hurley. All eyes at the UN. The Security Council unanimously approves more sanctions on North Korea after its recent nuclear bomb tests.
We are done trying to prod the regime to do the right thing. We are now acting to stop it from having the ability to continue doing the wrong thing.
U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley, this reduces the North's oil imports and blocks textile exports. Fox News, fair and balanced.
For 22 years, he served his country in the United States Marine Corps, including a tour of duty in Vietnam. He earned 2 Purple Hearts, a Bronze Star, and a Silver Star. And this year, on Veterans Day, retired Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North is coming to Chicago for Freedom Summit 2017, November 11th at the Westin Chicago Northwest. See Oliver North, Dinesh D'Souza, Larry Elder, and many more. Get your tickets at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Joe Cotton Ford.
Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling that you're safe to enjoy the things that matter most. ADT lets you take that feeling with you, whether you're at home, your business, or online. We help keep you safe with security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling for less than $1 a day. ADT. Home, safe home.
As a small business owner, you're juggling it all, including customers' calls from your personal phone. But with Grasshopper, you get a business phone number and a business phone system from our mobile app, so you can work smarter, not harder. Grasshopper forwards calls, texts, even transcribes voicemails. Everything you need to simplify your business and stay responsive. With Grasshopper, there's no long-term contracts, and customer support is 24/7. Whether you're starting or growing your business, Grasshopper is the answer. Now get $20 off your plan when you visit grasshopper.com/radio.
Are you sure your business is being seen online? Visit BeingSeen360.com to discover how being seen online can improve traffic, leads, and sales. BeingSeen360.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, we spent a lot of the time yesterday talking about Steve Bannon's 60 Minutes interview. And there was another 60 Minutes interview that was done, 60 Minutes Australia. And it was about a different topic. It was about the issue of transgender. And, we've talked about this before, how this is making its way. We had a transgender reveal party in a kindergarten at a school, at a private school, a Tony private school.
And horrified the classmates.
Of course.
Because everyone was questioning their gender then.
And there's a really interesting piece last week in The Federalist by Bethany Mandel. How the transgender crusade made me rethink my support for gay marriage. Oh, welcome to the party, Bethany. And Jonah Goldberg and a lot of other conservatives, erstwhile conservatives who bought into the marriage redefinition and thought they could draw the line. Aren't they cute? They thought they could draw the line. Just like we were going to draw the line at civil unions, and then it was marriage redefinition. And then once you've redefined marriage, you've redefined man and woman, so...
Could be mom and son.
So who gets to draw the line? Not you. Not you. So Bethany Mandel, over the course of the last few months, whenever I write or tweet anything on any topic, I usually receive a caustic social media response about my position on transgenderism. Right. They move from one to the other in their pursuit to, redefine the culture. You think they stop at the institution of marriage? Of course they don't. So think about them and say, oh, okay. If you don't like gay marriage, don't get gay married. Real deep thoughts.
Wow.
This is what people say. You're like,
if you don't like what? Say that
If you don't like gay marriage, don't get gay married. Right? I mean, it's what does it matter to me? Well, are you a member of society? Do you care about the political culture that you live in and that your children are going to grow up in?
Well,
Do you think it has any implications in terms of government power? Because remember, redefining marriage is a play for big government. It necessarily includes big government coming into the institution of marriage. You're not getting government out of the marriage business. You're further ensconcing it in the marriage business. You're a big government social justice warrior if you're a supporter of marriage redefinition. And now a lot of people who led with sentiment because, they have gay friends and marriage equality and all those fun catchphrases. And they were thinking about the adults, not the children, because remember the position. The position is about a child's natural right to mom and dad. It has nothing to do with adults and how they care about one another or trying to regulate anybody's freedom of association. It has nothing to do with that. And conservatives have done a poor job at focusing people on where the issue is. Child's natural right to their mother and father. That's why I'm opposed to marriage redefinition. And this is what happens. They have success there, then they move on to the next thing, and they use that as a cudgel to force compliance, to be made to care, to be made to support, to be made to celebrate.
Well, the problem I have with transgender is that they're taking over girl spots on teams. On cycling teams, a transgender student from Fremd joined the girls' gymnastics team.
Right.
So that's affecting my gender. And I think Title IX, where we've tried to have equality when it comes to sports.
Yeah, well, again, welcome to the party you started. Welcome to the party.
Maybe I'm one of them because I still believe in gay marriage. I am not. The people that are still married on our block are the same-sex couples compared to the heterosexual couples, which the majority of us have gotten divorced.
Really?
And they have kids who I love, and that's
another specious argument.
But I live it. That's part of my community.
That
same-sex couples. Some have kids, some don't.
That's not the same thing. Let me try this again.
No.
I don't want to regulate freedom of association. People can associate with whoever they want. No, I have no interest in that.
Okay.
The institution of marriage. The institution of marriage. And a child's natural right to their mother and father. That is the argument that you need to address on the topic. That's the argument. So, I have gay friends argument.
No,
I have gay friends that are happy together argument is off point. And when you destroy that institution, when you blow it up and you make it mean whatever anybody says it means, then you open up this Pandora's box and you don't get to close it. You can't close it because you've ceded the premise. And so understand this. When you start from the premise of the cultural Marxists, you're going to get the outcomes of the cultural Marxists. The communists, the Bolshevik Revolution, a key to it. This is Lenin and Wilhelm Reich. Sexual revolution, destroy the family. Family, bulwark against the state. That's what you need to understand. Otherwise, whether you're knowing or unwitting, you're complicit in the advance of totalitarianism, and that's what we see. And it also turns out, you know what it does? It leads people to do things they wouldn't otherwise do, like hurt their children, and let 12-year-olds make decisions about their gender.
Or 5-year-olds.
Yeah. Let 12-year-olds take estrogen pills prescribed for mommy. This is the interview in Australia, 60 Minutes this weekend.
This Aussie mum helped her 12-year-old son to become a girl.
When he was young, he would dress up in girls' clothes, and at one stage he did say to me that could he be taken to the doctor to be made into a girl.
You wish you could just change everything about you. You just see any girl and you say, I'd kill to be like that.
They changed his body. Patrick takes estrogen that had been prescribed for you.
He was on a pathway to create a life for himself as a female.
I felt like I was on the right track to becoming a girl.
No, the unthinkable.
He looked me in the eye and said, I'm just not sure that I am a girl.
You changed your mind, didn't you?
Yeah.
Is it too late to take it all back? Your boy's got breasts.
Your boy's got breasts. And then, the mom looks away. Because maybe a 12-year-old shouldn't be driving the train on gender identity. What Mitchell ended up saying is I began to realize I was actually comfortable in my body every day. I just felt better. So maybe...
How does he even know?
well, right. And so I understand. I have empathy for Mitchell, the kid who was confused. Gender dysphoria, by the way, is a mental disorder. It's a mental illness. And
they should be getting him psychological help.
Correct. I understand a parent's desire to see their child be happy and comfortable in their own skin. But you know what? That turns out for most kids to be a process, right? It's a process. And there are going to be moments during your adolescence where you're awkward and you're not comfortable in their own skin.
No one is.
Has anybody ever had that? How about everybody, right?
Yeah, one day you wake up and your voice is a lot lower.
So, but yet what a culture celebrates and extols, it begets. And we celebrate the idea that gender is something you choose. I mean, you just had the governor of the state of Illinois sign transgender birth certificate bill. You just had House Republican leader, Jim Durkin, voted for that bill. Because we're going to lead with sentiment on the topic. We want to be part of the celebration. Okay, well, it ends with Mitchell. That's where it ends.
So-
where you hurt a 12-year-old boy who's confused. You hurt him. Let's be real clear about it. Because you're leading with sentiment rather than, whether you're in the General Assembly of Illinois, the governor's mansion, or just a parent, rather than saying, I need to make an adult judgment here. I understand my boy is confused. I need to make an adult judgment. I can't just indulge what a 12-year-old thinks he wants because that's why I'm an adult and he's a 12-year-old. Or, as we talked about, a 5-year-old in kindergarten and a teacher doing a transgender reveal event. I mean, what the hell? So, those who want to say, I'm on the side of the angels because I just give kids what they want and I'm just in emotional, sentimental solidarity with them, you're actually feeding monstrous conduct.
Kids never hear no anymore. I'll never forget the 4 girls in my block. They asked, can we come in and play? And I said, no. And they were shocked. I don't think they'd ever heard that word. And I said, no, there's a thing called boundaries and rules. And right now I have to go to work inside and be on the computer. So no, you can't come over. Like, oh, Miss Amy. As if they've never heard the word. But parents indulge their kids all the time. You see 2-year-olds walking around there constantly playing on their parents' iPhones. They're constantly, they give, whatever keeps Susie happy. Oh, don't cry, Johnny. Here, take this. I mean, of course, they're not going to want to see their 12-year-old suffer. If they could change it, if they can make him feel better, then maybe they'll feel better about themselves as parents. When actually it backfires down the road, I'm sure.
Well, again, the adult judgment. Where's the judgment to say, well, this is a serious thing to start giving my pre-adolescent drugs to change his or her gender. That's something that maybe demands a little bit of introspection and investigation and prayer. Maybe I don't know. But that's not what you get. And don't tell me that the celebratory nature with which our culture treats this, the ubiquity of it, doesn't have something to do with it, because it does. And you know what? I don't know. I don't know any better. Your parents start questioning themselves. Well, what? Well, I mean, this seems like a good thing, and RuPaul's got a show on television, and so on and so forth.
Well, we might have a Miss Montana who's a transgender.
And you've seen, and look at Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh,
there's a role model. Look at, So I don't know. I guess. I mean, I guess if Bruce Jenner is doing it, then it's got to be okay for a 12-year-old. Is that what you guess? Is that how you do your analysis? I don't know. I think some people do. At minimum, they're influenced by it. Don't tell me that culture doesn't influence these kind of decisions with respect to ordinary people. It does. And it also distorts the reality. There's surveys. What percentage of Americans are gay?
I don't know. What, 1%?
The median answer.
2%?
Well, that's the correct answer. But what do you think the American public's answer is when they're surveyed at large?
60%?
25%.
Oh.
So it's 12x what the actual numbers are. Why? Because it's omnipresent in culture. And that's the effort here by the, going back to Bethany Mandel's piece in The Federalist, that's the effort here to normalize and to use transgenderism as a political club to beat people with for the purposes of power, to impose will, to impose their values. Oh, by the way, don't try and impose your values on me. Okay, well, what do you think the left's doing? What do you think the cultural Marxists do? Are they in the business of imposing their will through the force of law, or just through, rioting in Portland and throwing stuff at police? I don't know. Something to think about.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
That he wants to go back to being a boy, but they also are giving him a breast reduction in the coming months.
Well, now he's comfortable in his own skin. As a boy, he was confused, and now he's back.
And so they have to get rid of the excess tissue that they created.
Right. They hurt a 12-year-old boy because they indulged him rather than provided guidance.
Today, beautiful sun, a few high clouds, a high of 76. Then remnants of Hurricane Irma are going to be coming here. We're going to have rain tonight into dawn, and then tomorrow all day rain on and off, a high of 73 degrees. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Eastbound Adams Tollway, I-90, it's heavy from the Tri-State to the Kennedy, and those delays continue on the Kennedy to around Nagel, where there's a crash. Looking at 30 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. Eden's inbound, just a little slow, Foster to Montrose. Outbound, it's clear. About Eisenhower, delays start at Wolf Road. 46 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 33. Stevenson, 51 minutes, 3:55 to the drive. Outbound still good at 34. Ryan, 26 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 35 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop, 422. North side of Chicago, Howard is closed between Sheridan and Rogers Avenue. Police are investigating a shooting. Jim Talamonte and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
After your choice of spouse, where you're sending your kids to school is the most important decision you make. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Northridge Preparatory School, an independent Catholic school for boys, grades 6 through 12. No brainwashing that's prevalent elsewhere. Northridge Prep instills the traditional values that you hold as parents. Northridge Prep is all boys with an all-male faculty. They celebrate your son's natural enthusiasm. It's a good place to be a boy. I'm impressed by the men who teach there. They're great role models who get to the hearts of their students. Their demanding liberal arts curriculum produces well-rounded men with the ability to think for themselves. No. Underline, exclamation point. Northridge Prep grads go on to the best universities, including the Ivy League, have top athletics and arts programs, and are ranked the #1 best all-boys school in Illinois and a top 100 high school in America from U.S. News. I strongly encourage you to attend Northridge Prep's open house October 22nd. To learn more about that open house on October 22nd and about Northridge Prep, visit northridgeprep.org. Again, that website, northridgeprep.org.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm 75 years old, and I don't eat enough vegetables or fruit. And this is a great thing to do. And it seems that I have more energy. It seems that I take that, and I take a lot of blood pressure pills and what do you call it, cholesterol. But my doctor tells me, he said, no, you might cut the dosage down on your pills because what are you taking? I said, Balance of Nature. He said he didn't know what it was, so I told him, I said it's fruits and vegetables condensed into little pill form. He goes, well, whatever it is, it's doing you a lot of good.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Are you facing foreclosure, been foreclosed upon, in a bad modification, or just stuck in a bad mortgage? Well, we may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. We defend foreclosure actions. We bring claims against the banks and the servicers for wrongful foreclosure and other violations of mortgage servicing regulations. And we help people negotiate modifications of their existing mortgages, often including principal reductions. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest analysis, counsel, and advice regarding your options.
Hi, this is Rayanne from Lou Bridges & Associates. I am one of the loan modification processors here, and if you are in need of any additional information in regard to a loan modification, please contact the office.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. The coach.
Ditka sausage. Sausage.
He weighed in yesterday on the prospect of anybody sitting or kneeling or otherwise protesting the national anthem before the Monday night football game between the LA Rams and the Denver Broncos.
Yes, the anniversary of September 11th.
Yeah, right, of course. And here's what the coach had to say.
Is it disrespectful to not stand for the national anthem on the day, on the anniversary of hundreds of first responders dying trying to rescue innocent civilians who were attacked by terrorists?
Well, you know the answer to that. Yeah, of course it is. But people are going to do what they want to do. This is a different generation of people. And in other words, they think a lot of things don't apply to them. But, hey, it is what it is. People are entitled. They got a right to do anything they want to do as long as they don't break the law or hurt people. And if their protest is going to be that, fine. It's going to be that. But don't forget now, for that's a minority. So for the majority of people are going to understand what 9/11 meant, what this country stands for, the values that we have, and they're going to go in that direction. You can't stop everybody. You know, there's always going to be some malcontents. So let them be malcontents. Let them do their thing, and they'll move on. Nobody will think about it. Nobody will remember who they were. The fact that they didn't stand for the national anthem, that's their own. You know, they have a right to do that. They have a right to do anything they want to do. I just disagree with it.
Is this?
Yeah, how about that? There's his message to the malcontents.
Coach.
Bears 31 to -7.
Yeah, really, -7.
Coach Nick, I'll find a way.
Bears.
It's always fun hearing from Coach Ditka, and also an opportunity to
congratulate the 85 Bears, right?
Congratulations to the 85 Bears on that Super Bowl championship. I mean, I think it's about time they got their due. I don't think they've gotten enough publicity.
Me neither. I mean, really, we should have celebrated them more. And it's not too late to celebrate them. Well, somebody that people are celebrating this morning is Sergio Dip. Have you seen Sergio? He's the newest sideline reporter on ESPN's Monday Night Football.
I was wondering where the boom goes the dynamite guy went.
Yeah, well, the 29-year-old, he mainly appears on ESPN Deportes. He did his first sideline report, stumbled and bumbled his way through a first report late in the first quarter of the Chargers-Broncos game. Oh, it's going viral.
It's a pleasure to be with you guys here on the field. From up close, just watching Coach Vance Joseph. From here, you watch him now on the screen. This diversity in his background is helping him a lot tonight. Quarterback at Colorado, defensive back in the NFL. And here he is, having the time of his life.
This is Vance Joseph singing on the sideline. So Sergio wasn't kidding. Yeah. And then Susie Colbert chimed in to play the...
I just want to kiss you, Susie. No, so people, they're wondering why...
The diversity in his background. By the way, they're
wondering why a 29-year-old who's really not up for prime time is on the sidelines.
The great thing was after he did the whole time of his life, they panned to Vance Joseph, who's having the time of his life. He's, just got his headset on. He's looking at his play sheet just like any other head coach. I mean, there's nothing remarkable about it. It's so bizarre.
What's remarkable is that he was so excited to be on the sidelines that for him it meant more than Jones.
Well, Joseph.
Joseph, excuse me.
I think Sergio may have been the one having the time of his life.
But it reminded me of, I think we found the boom goes the dynamite guy.
Later, he gets the rebound, passes it to the man, shoots it, and boom goes the dynamite.
Yeah.
Both non-stellar broadcasts, but both will be remembered.
Well, I'll tell you, this is more of ESPN's descent into bankruptcy because you had just remember this the last 3 weeks leading up to the football season, right? You had them apologizing for doing a live fantasy football draft that was criticized by, anonymous Twitter monsters as a slave auction. And so they apologized. They apologized.
They fired like 100 people, and then they bring this 29-year-old kid because I'm sure he was a lot cheaper. Yeah, they created their own hole. I mean,
so you had that event, and then you had, of course, the Robert Lee event.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Remind me of that again.
He was not. He was reassigned from the UVA home opener. Because his name is Robert Lee.
But he's Asian.
He's Asian, but it's Robert Lee, and Robert Lee was a Confederate general, you remember. And so, according to the ESPN president, to prevent Robert Lee, not the dead Confederate general, but the live Asian American ESPN sports announcer, from receiving any criticism on Twitter for his name, they yanked him from University of Virginia's home opener. Because ESPN's protecting people. I'll tell you
ridiculous.
what, if you want to get ESPN to do anything, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what standing you are. You could be in a loony bin somewhere. Just tweet it. And they will respond immediately to whatever criticism you have and do the opposite. It's just incredible. So this is just the continued clown show that is ESPN.
But the good move is they had the first female play-by-play announcer last night, Beth Mowins. Did you hear? She has a very mannish voice, but she did a great job. And it's good for all the girls out there, the young ladies who want to become play-by-play announcers. There's hope for us. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer. What is coming up on Chicago's Morning
I want to get to that Reed College protest because it's fun.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do at 6:30.
And later, Patty Blagojevich, what life is like without her husband in the home and what it's like for those two sweet girls. But first, let's go into the newsroom and say good morning to the one and only Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. We're watching recovery operations in Florida this morning. The airport for Fort Lauderdale has reopened after Hurricane Irma swept through that state and now is a tropical depression and falling apart rapidly. Operations in Fort Lauderdale resumed around 5 a.m. our time, but a check of the airport's website this morning showed many flights still canceled. Same story in Miami. Flights out of Orlando are resuming today on a limited basis as well. The funeral of a Houston police officer who drowned during Hurricane Harvey is being held today. Sergeant Steve Perez is being laid to rest at the Cathedral of the Sacred Heart in downtown Houston. Meantime, first responders are suing a chemical company, saying fumes made them sick after Harvey crippled a plant near Houston. North Korea will be feeling the pain of new UN sanctions, targeting some of its biggest remaining foreign revenue streams like textiles and remittances from its legions of workers abroad. But Pyongyang is almost certainly breathing a sigh of relief that the Security Council, thanks to the protestations of Russia and China, eased off the biggest target of all, North Korea's access to the oil it needs to stay alive. There are at least 23 class action lawsuits against Equifax following a cyber breach that left the information of 143 million vulnerable to identity theft. The family of a Chicago woman desperately wants answers after she was found dead over the weekend in a hotel freezer in suburban Rosemont. Kanika Jenkins' mother wants to know what led to the discovery of her daughter's body.
My goal is to find out what exactly happened to my daughter. What exactly went on, and whatever went on, could someone tell me?
Police are reviewing a Facebook Live video that appears to show the 19-year-old in a 9th floor room hours before she disappeared. A man is dead following a shooting in Dalton. Derek Hill was shot early this morning near Shepherd Drive and University Avenue. Despite multi-million-dollar ad campaigns, Cook County residents don't seem to believe the health concerns behind the county's controversial sweetened drink tax. As AM 560's David Stewart reports.
Billionaire Michael Bloomberg has spent $5 million on the ads supporting the penny-announced tax by using the argument that it will lead to healthier children. But a We Ask America poll about the ads finds that more than 87% of voters think commissioners had other reasons to impose the tax, and that 85% of those surveyed favor a repeal, no matter why it was enacted. A proposal to repeal the tax may see a vote at the county board this Wednesday, but President Toni Preckwinkle says she expects it to stand. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Chicago sports. Bears wideout Kevin White is heading for injured reserve again, fracturing the scapula in his shoulder blade in a Sunday season-opening loss to Atlanta. Jose Abreu went off again, 4 for 5 with 2 RBI and a 17-hit attack for the White Sox as they beat the Royals 11-3. Cubs open up a 3-game series with the Mets tonight at Wrigley Field. Practice rounds begin today for the BMW at Conway Farms. And the news, a service of BakeryWork.com. Now hiring experienced maintenance mechanics. You're needed to maintain and repair bakery machinery. Apply now. Positions open in Romeoville, Cicero, and Chicago. Competitive compensation and benefits packages, too. Apply now at BakeryWork.com. That's BakeryWork.com. 6:32, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager is on board with the president's ending of DACA.
President has done what is utterly constitutional and said, let Congress renew or modify DACA. I am not for deporting these people, and I am for ending DACA. So you have to figure out what to do there. I am for having Congress represent the will of the American people with regard to immigration.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Come to Cabela's Great Outdoor Days with special events and giveaways, plus doorbusters for 5 hours only, starting 8 a.m. Saturday, August 12th. Shop in-store and at Cabela's.com.
If you have pain, listen up, Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
It is 6:34 and time to get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On Chicago's north side, Howard is closed. In Sheridan Road and Rogers Avenue, police are investigating a shooting. Eden's inbound. Delays start at Niles Center. 26 minutes Lake Hook to Montrose. Outbound 21. There's a crash at Elston on the right shoulder. Inbound Kennedy. Jammed from before the River O'Toole to Nagel after a crash. Then slow North Avenue to the Burn Circle. 37 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 13 from Montrose, 10 on the Express. Outbound 27 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower is now 56 minutes Thorndale to downtown. Outbound 35. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 41 minutes. The Ryan is 29 minutes from 95th to downtown. Traffic service of LifeLock. Equifax recently announced a breach of 143 million identities. You need to take steps to get protection. Be among the millions who trust their identity theft protection to LifeLock. Go to lifelock.com. Use promo code RISK for 10% off. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. A pleasant day ahead. Plenty of sunshine, 75. Will be clear overnight with a low of 56 and a beautiful day tomorrow. Sun with thin high clouds and a high of 77. Currently, we have 56 at O'Hare and 61 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Indulge in the specialties of over 20 restaurants at Gourmet on the Green, a fun family event on Thursday, September 14th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Village Greens of Woodridge. Enjoy food, spirits, and gift card raffles. Tickets on sale now at chamber630.com.
Some call me the sage from South Central. Others call me the czar of common sense. But you can call me Larry Elder. And you're invited to join me tonight, starting at 7, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so the anti-fascists had a good old time over the weekend in Portland, hurling smoke and projectiles at police officers during rallies. Police confiscated such items as gloves and a bat before allowing demonstrators, these thugs.
Were these thugs paid by Colin Kaepernick, or are these different people?
Paid by Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, Colin Kaepernick gave protesters some money.
Oh, okay.
To protest DACA in Washington, D.C., paid for them to go there.
Mm-hmm. These demonstrators, these social justice activists.
Social justice warriors.
That's right. Threw projectiles, smoke bombs, knocked down a fence that police put up. 7 were arrested. So there's a little bit of what's going on there in the Pacific Northwest, Portland, as per usual. Over at Reed College, though, which is dubbed the most liberal and least religious of 382 schools surveyed by the Princeton Review. This comes to us from our friends at Hot Air.
What's their mascot? Satan.
Oh, yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Colors are red.
Humanities 110. Freshmen crowded the lecture hall at 9 a.m. for Humanities 110, the first class of their college careers.
Wait, let me get out my notes.
Elizabeth Drum, the head of the program, offered some introductory remarks on Hume 110, but the kids, the infants there attending their first college class, didn't have time for what their left-wing humanities professor had to say. They had things to say.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, they did. And where's our Reed College? Here we go. Here's what happened after Elizabeth Drum. The professor tried to address the infants in attendance.
I'm sorry. This is a classroom space, and this is not appropriate. So we have allowed.
Well, we work just as hard on the syllabus.
Okay,
as you all
so
have.
this is a classroom
This is
space.
a failure to give us credit for our labor. We're Readies Against Racism, and we're protesting Hume 110 because of its Eurocentric.
Okay, so we cannot have our class if we have students interrupting the speaking. So why don't we're going to call the lecture. You can all just meet with your conference leaders, and they'll explain what's going on. Thank you. We'll see you all Wednesday.
Sorry, you missed the chance to learn. This is an important part of your education about Hume 110. If you want to stay and learn about the events of the past year, regardless of whether you agree with us, we would appreciate if you would stick around. We were going to give a 2-minute introduction, and we talked to Olivia about that yesterday. So if you want to hear what we have to say, and if you believe the students of color deserve a voice on Hume 110, I would encourage you to stay. We'll just give the 2-minute introduction anyway, and you guys can still follow them. And where did they say they were going? It's just okay. All we were gonna say is that we're Readies Against Racism, and this is a Hume 110 protest. We're an anti-racist organization that was founded last year to address the issues facing students of color, especially Black students at Reed. We believe that the first lesson that freshmen should learn about Hume 110 is that it perpetuates white supremacy by centering whiteness in as the only required class at Reed. Because of us, Hume 110 is currently under review so that it can be reformed. This work is just as important as the work of the faculty, so we were going to introduce ourselves as well. My name is Addison Bates, and I use she, her.
You see what's happening here is the professors are introducing themselves, but these students combating racism, don't you know? They created their own syllabus, and so they took it upon themselves to show some initiative to introduce themselves to the class because, as you heard at the outset, they put just as much work into the syllabus
as the professors
did, and so there should be, essentially equal, at minimum, space given to address the class for the students that are paying to be there to attend classes, but who have created their own curriculum as the professors employed by the college with the curriculum that they have. Here's the great thing about this. Oh, well, if that's not great enough.
That everybody walked out. Too.
One is...
that's fantastic.
I feel a drop in Reed College enrollment coming, so that's good news. You can cross this off the list for Peyton and Eli.
A dorm will be closed soon, yes.
Here's the other thing. These professors that walked out on the infants, they are hard leftists, too. No one will be spared. No one will be spared when you give in. One of the professors there, Professor Lucia Martinez Valdivia, she describes herself as a female mixed race or American and Peruvian gay atheist professor.
Peruvian gay atheist professor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me. Mixed race.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mixed
American
race,
and Peruvian. Yeah. Gay atheist professor.
All right.
Okay.
That's her business. Yeah.
Last year, she had some students plan to disrupt a lecture she was giving, and she begged them not to be too controversial, saying that she suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder and doubted her ability to deliver the lecture in the face of their opposition.
Huh?
In other words, the adults can't stand up to the kids. I can't, I don't have the capacity. I don't have the fortitude to face opposition. This is coming from the professors. So where do the kids get it? In addition to at home, apparently, they get it from professors who just yield. This is Shelby Steele's white guilt. Professors who yield. I can't hear opposition to my views. I can't face opposition to my views. Thus, the remedy for both the professorate as well as the kids, eliminate opposition. No tolerance for opposition. That's what this is. So, again, people don't care about culture. They don't care about what's happening at college campuses. Maybe you'll care about it when it's visited upon you, because we're in the lives of others. You understand, if you've seen the movie, and if you haven't, you should. We're in where the Stasi enlists ordinary people to act as surrogates of the state and to tell of people's thought crimes, to tell of people's speech crimes. Think I'm kidding? British conductor has been fired as the artistic director of the Oregon Bach Festival.
Why?
If they were going to do the Brandenburg Concertos, I probably would have attended. Following an incident in which he imitated a Southern American accent, while talking to a longstanding friend, an African-American classical singer named Reginald Mobley. Here's what happened. He's having a conversation with his friend, this British conductor, African-American.
Or African English.
Yeah, well, African-American classical singer, Reginald Mobley.
Yeah. What did Mobley? Did Mobley complain?
No. Some white woman, the singer suspects, Mobley suspects, overheard their conversation because she spoke to him moments later. She went on to report this British conductor. His name is Matthew Halls. She went on to report him to the university that was hosting the Bach Festival, and so he was removed. Mobley, his friend, his black friend, says Halls apologized on behalf of England before putting on an exaggerated Southern accent, joking, "Do you want some grits?" in reference to the ground corn dish popular in the South. I'm from the Deep South, and Matthew often makes fun of the Southern accent, just as I often make fun of his British accent, said Mobley. Race was not an issue. He was imitating a Southern accent, not putting on a black accent, and there was nothing racist or malicious about it. Well, that's not good enough.
Oh.
No. See, that's not good enough. Because
Excuse
somebody
me.
overheard it. Reginald Mobley, you're not offended?
He's not offended. He didn't complain.
Well, I overheard it, and I'm offended for you. So I'm going to report Matthew Halls, and Matthew Halls is going to be tossed. So when this happens to you, you think, oh, I can just avoid this, right? I can avoid this. I don't go to college. My kids don't go to college. I'm insulated. I don't go to music festivals, classic music festivals. I can avoid this. Can you avoid it? Can you avoid it if you work in a corporate environment? Do you think so? I'm just going to keep my head down and say nothing. You can't have a conversation with your friend. Mobley rallying to the defense of his friend, saying this is absurd. She heard it out of context. This is wrong. There's nothing racist about it. And we're friends. So how about
back off, sister?
Right. So how about giving my viewpoint some standing? No. Gone. Gone. Okay? Just as it started with Brendan Ike and writing a $1,500 contribution check to the traditional marriage advocates in California when that referendum was on the ballot, and he's ousted by the board from Mozilla, the company he founded. So this can't happen to you or someone you care about, right? So I'm just going to pay no mind to it. And I'm not going to stand up against it. Okay. Holly and Hudson, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. I think that the media is misinterpreting the decline in enrollment at schools. For instance, I read an article recently that the decline in enrollment at Mizzou is attributed to the fact that it's viewed as a racist school and people don't want to send their kids to racist school, when in fact, people just don't want to send their kids to a school and get wrapped up in this nonsense. Also, I read recently where enrollment was down.
Two sides of the same coin, sort of, but okay.
Well, all right, but enrollment down, not enrollment, but applications down 25% at schools like Kenyon and Denison and Central Ohio. And the best that admissions can figure is that rich parents from the coast are now afraid to send their kids to school, to locations that turned red or where there were Trump signs. There was an entire article where they were begging people not to have Trump signs in their yards in these small Ohio towns because when these rich blue bloods come to visit these schools, they were being scared off. So rather than think people aren't applying to small liberal arts schools because of this other nonsense, like you're talking about at Reed, so the media is doing the opposite spin on what's happening in college campuses.
Yeah, okay. All right, thanks for the call, Holly. I appreciate it. Well, I mean, here's the other thing, though, too, because the price points we're talking about.
Right. It's an exorbitant amount of money for what? I told you about my friend from Inglewood who owes $102,000 in college tuition. I wish that he would have just gone to a trade school because now he's working at Trader Joe's.
$102,000, that's going to be where the tuition is at some of these small liberal arts schools if we do nothing about how we finance college education in this country in about 3 years. I mean, you're talking about these small liberal arts schools like Holly was talking about.
How much?
These are $65,000 a year.
A year?
You know, before you get into the other money you have to drop ship to your kids, right?
You're going to sponsor Peyton and Eli, right? I mean, you're going to help me out, right?
Yeah, I'm going to sponsor them to start a business and do the class work at the Khan Academy online. That's what I'm going to sponsor them to do. That's a better education than you're getting at places like Reed College. Are you kidding me? You think it's limited? University of New Hampshire.
Oh, this is the best. Triumph the Dog.
Triumph the Insult Comedy Dog.
I watched this whole thing twice. Never laughed so hard. I couldn't believe those students agreed to do it. But maybe they didn't know what Triumph the Dog was really all about.
Well, here's the thing.
It's the best story ever.
Here's the thing. When you are incapable of exercising any judgment and have no self-respect and no respect for others, then you can't even defend yourself when somebody ridicules you to your face, including a puppet.
Spectacular.
Triumph the Insult Comedy Dog on the campus of the University of New Hampshire last year before the 2016 election, doing some investigative work. Enjoy.
Well, a trigger warning is something that you put before like a video or an article or something that might be difficult for them to witness or to hear.
Got it. Okay, let me do one. Trigger warning. In this video, there will be the clear depiction of a dog pretending to be interested in what a college student is saying, while at the same time making plans to pleasure himself to her at a later time.
And he tries to hump her leg and stuff. It's just like, excuse me.
Yes, right. I'm a dog,
awesome.
but I identify as a shin guard. First-year orientation, turning their...
Well, it's freshman year orientation, but they changed it.
Right, and Triumph wants to change it some more.
For the freshman orientation, you'd call it first-year orientation?
Yep, first-year orientation.
Wait. Did you just say first-year orientation? Shouldn't you be saying first-year Asian meditation?
The great thing is all these PC adult kids are laughing at themselves.
Right. Well, two of them are.
They're
the people
so
in the back row
ridiculous.
look horrified, but
It's
we also have a new name for frat boys.
Frat boys? I think that's a very offensive term, frat boys. Instead of frat boys, how about rapist Americans?
And then
did you blog the part where the African American guy with pink
no. Well,
walks in, and then they bring in a sketch artist to describe him, and that was off the charts.
Oh, right.
Because you got to watch this in its entirety.
Because they have to pretend to be colorblind
right.
and
that he's wearing pink and that he's
blind
gay and yeah.
So then he also asked, since it's been advanced to the 2016 election, which 74-year-old socialist Jew are you kids going to vote for?
Among all the candidates, which socialist 74-year-old Jew would you like to see elected president? I want you to know he is going to break up the banks.
I think we should break up the big banks.
Well, then how are you going to access your parents' money?
You've made the switch. and it feels so good. You switch to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. What is now Tropical Storm Irma snarling air traffic. Congress opening hearings on the reliability of the electrical grid, and Apple unveiling a $1,000 iPhone. Those stories next.
If you have unpaid tax debt to the IRS that you can't pay, please hear this special notice. Specially approved IRS relief programs designed to aid delinquent taxpayers are now in effect that can significantly improve your financial situation. Depending on your circumstances, you may qualify to have your tax problem resolved in your favor and may even have your back taxes reduced by thousands or eliminated entirely. A relief hotline has been established by Community Tax for you to call and see if you qualify at 800-804-7445. If you owe the IRS back taxes that you can't afford to pay, don't let the IRS trick you into thinking you have no way out. Our highly accredited tax professionals will let you know what you qualify for and how much you can save. We may be able to stop all liens, garnishments, levies, and save you thousands. Call and see if you qualify for this taxpayer relief at 800-804-7445. 800-804-7445. That's 800-804-7445. Community Tax. Who's your tax guy?
Hurricane Irma has been downgraded to a tropical storm, and its effect is still snarling air traffic in state after state. Big airports in Florida, of course, remain closed, and more than 3,800 flights were canceled just yesterday. High winds causing delays and cancellations in Atlanta as well, and over 300 flights were grounded in Charlotte. Millions of Floridians are still without power in the wake of Hurricane Irma, and in Washington, a House committee meeting on ways to make America's electricity industry more reliable. Testimony from coal industry, solar, and electric company leaders on the agenda. Technology giant Apple today expected to roll out its newest, most streamlined iPhone ever with a eye-popping price tag of $1,000. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
Oh, I had my joints all ached. My sciatic nerve was really bad. Like 10 hours, my eyes were so tired and heavy and almost burning. And then when I woke up in the morning, there was this nagging pain. I mean, it hurt to open them. And just in a week, I don't have the nagging pain anymore. My joints stopped hurting, and I'm in wood season. I'm lugging wood right now, and I'm not hurting. So that's, amazing for me. I'm usually really suffering. It's pretty effective. And so now, like I said, my husband and I are both taking it, and he even said his joints aren't aching as much, and he's feeling better.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. They're not going to help you unless they're put on notice. They're going to be held accountable if they do not support the President of the United States. Those are the words of Chief Trump street fighter Steve Bannon on 60 Minutes in response to Charlie Rose's protestation that he's attacking the very GOP leadership who support the President needs. Whether or not you agree with all of the component parts of the Trump-Bannon policy agenda, and I do not, Bannon is correct about the mechanics of moving the flag in politics. As Milton Friedman observed, politics is the art of getting the wrong people to do the right thing. That requires the application of pressure. A policy agenda is moved mainly by aligning interests, not making friends. And the number one interest of virtually every office holder is to hold their office. What the big government press corps in D.C. describes as infighting is better understood as an accountability mechanism. You either keep the promises you made or you won't be in a position to make them anymore. Members of Congress are not our betters. They are our temporary representatives. All are replaceable. Many are interchangeable. A political party that has intra-party channels to maintain discipline is a governing party. One that does not will be a minority party until they do. Take it from someone who lives in Illinois.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore. The chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch, it looked awful. But thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours, and when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's summer schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com. That's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Message and data rates may apply.
Attention, it is illegal to text and drive. So if you're experiencing hair loss and you want a permanent solution, please pull over now, because an incredible offer that could give you your hair back is just one text away. Bosley is America's #1 hair restoration expert, always pioneering the latest technology. And now we're giving everyone who texts GROW to 543-543. An absolutely free information kit that reveals just how easy and affordable this permanent solution really is. Don't wait. When you text GROW to 543-543, we'll also give you a gift card for $250 off. Millions of men and women have come to Bosley for a permanent solution to hair loss. So pull over now and see for yourself how great your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit. Text GROW to 543-543. Plus, get a free gift card. This amazing offer is just one text away. GROW to 543-543.
Hi, my name is Ray McElroy, former Chicago Bears player and chaplain, and founder and CEO of the nonprofit Array of Hope on Earth. You know, running a successful nonprofit organization that serves at-risk, underserved youth in the inner city of Chicago presents its own set of challenges. I am so relieved that as a small, newer organization, we don't have to count our payroll and HR responsibilities as one of them, because of the amazing service we receive from Precision Payroll of America. Not only do I appreciate the professional quality of Precision Payroll of America, but I also love that their values of faith, family, and fair and comprehensive service align perfectly with our own.
Thank you, Ray. For our great services, call me at 630-242-1507 or on the web at precisionpayroll.com. To support a great cause, check out arrayofhopeonearth.org.
Tom, you're the best, bro.
No, man, you're the best.
No, you're the best.
Oh, you the man.
No, for real, dog. You the man.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
General Kelly responds to El Gallito, and at 7:07, should we apply background checks for voting like we do for gun purchases?
And later, former Governor Blagojevich speaks, but now let's go into the newsroom. Mike Scott.
Mayor Emanuel losing a top aide. WIND Chicago News Time 7.
They're headed back home, if there's one to go back to. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. People in the upper Florida Keys just now being allowed to return.
But the situation in all of the Keys is very, very dire. The farther south you go, of course, Irma coming on at Cudjoe Key, just slamming into it. They have no power. They have no water. They have no cell service. Food is running out down there.
Fox's Griff Jenkins in Naples.
I urge everyone impacted by the storm to continue to pay attention to your state and local officials.
Acting Homeland Security Secretary Elaine Duke a short time ago, thousands are in shelters. More than 5 million homes and businesses are without power. That's more than half of Florida. Fox's Jeff Manasso is live in Tampa.
Dave, power outages and supply shortages, also rising water. The biggest concerns here into the weekend in places like flooded Jacksonville. Officials north of us in Pasco County telling some residents along a bloated river to get out. Damage continues to be assessed. Roadways and debris are being cleared and repairs slowly being done.
I just got home today and it's a pretty good hot mess we got here.
A little bit frustrated because we can't do anything just yet.
We're going to do a lot of tuna sandwiches and peanut butter and jelly until the power comes back on.
60% of the homes in this state without power. Much needed fuel supplies are also being brought in as millions of evacuated Floridians start making their way back home. Dave?
Jeff, President Trump keeps pushing for tax reform. Tonight he'll have a bipartisan dinner with 3 Republican senators and 3 Democrats. Fox's Ellison Barber says they are
Senators Joe Manchin of West Virginia, Joe Donnelly of Indiana, and Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota. All are moderate Democrats up for re-election next year in states President Trump won.
Hillary Clinton says there are a lot of reasons why he won and she lost. Her book, What Happened, is out today. Clinton tells USA Today she's convinced there was collusion between Trump associates and Russia. President Trump calls the probe into that a witch hunt. Fox News, fair and balanced.
61 degrees. Skies at the moment are cloudy. Winds from the northeast at 5 miles an hour at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. The family of a Chicago woman is desperately seeking answers after she was found dead over the weekend in a hotel freezer in Rosemont. Kanika Jenkins' mother wants to know what led to the discovery of her daughter's body early Sunday at the Crowne Plaza Hotel.
My goal is to find out what exactly happened to my daughter, what exactly went on, and whatever went on, could someone tell me?
Authorities haven't said how the woman died or why she was in a freezer in a vacant area of that hotel. Mayor Emanuel losing a top aide. Sun-Times reporting senior advisor Mike Rendina leaving Friday to accept a private sector opportunity and leaving just in time to free up some time to work on Mayor Emanuel's re-election campaign if the mayor chooses to run for a third term. A man dead following a shooting in south suburban Dalton. Derek Hill shot early this morning near Shepherd Drive and University Avenue. The U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg was in Chicago last night, saying she doesn't intend on quitting the bench anytime soon, telling a capacity crowd at Roosevelt University there's still work to be done on the bench. Former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich speaking out for the first time since entering prison for corruption over 5 years ago. In an interview with Chicago Magazine, Blagojevich said he believes he never crossed any lines in seeking to raise campaign contributions. He's serving a 14-year prison sentence in Colorado for trying to peddle to the highest bidder an Illinois U.S. Senate seat, once held by Barack Obama. Jose Abreu went 4 for 5 with a couple of RBI. White Sox beat the Royals 11-3. Cubs open up a 3-game set with the Mets tonight. And the news service of Sprint, just in time for back to school. Get your kid a great deal on a Samsung or LG device during the Sprint Deals Spectacular. Hurry in while supplies last or call 800-SPRINT-1 or visit sprint.com/deals. Works for me. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-3585. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-3585. Again, that's 1-800-600-3585.
Home isn't just a place. It's a feeling. Whether you're at home, your business, or online, ADT helps keep you safe. With security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance. So you can feel at home, wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling. ADT. Home. Safe home.
As a small business owner, you're juggling it all, including customers' calls from your personal phone. But with Grasshopper, you get a business phone number and a business phone system from our mobile app, so you can work smarter, not harder. Grasshopper forwards calls, texts, even transcribes voicemails. Everything you need to simplify your business and stay responsive. With Grasshopper, there's no long-term contracts, and customer support is 24/7. Whether you're starting or growing your business, Grasshopper is the answer. Now, get $20 off your plan when you visit grasshopper.com/radio.
7:06 and a check of the roads. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. CTA Orange Line trains are standing at Pulaski. There's a mechanical problem. North side, Howard Street, closed. Sheridan to Rogers Avenue. Police investigate a shooting. Eden's inbound delay start at Gulf Road. 32 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 24. The Kennedys, 52 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 22 from Montrose. 18 in the Express. Outbound 51 minutes to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, an hour and 6 minutes Thorndale to the post office. 52 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 46 to Thorndale. Stevenson, Brutal, an hour and 16 minutes. 3:55 to the drive. Outbound 42 minutes. Ryan is 31 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 32 minutes. I-80 to the merge, Bishop 429. Northbound Tri-State, heavy 111th to 87th. From the Stevenson to 47th, and in pockets, Reagan Tollway to Irving Park, Adams Tollway Jam from the Tri-State to Kennedy. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Sunshine through high clouds throughout the day. Today with a high getting up to 76. Then it will turn out to be a partly cloudy night for tonight with a shower in a few spots after midnight, low of 59. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
56 at O'Hare, 61 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Are you sure your business is being seen online? Visit beingseen360.com to discover how being seen online can improve traffic, leads, and sales. beingseen360.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and I have a question. Should we apply background checks to vote the way we apply background checks to purchase a firearm? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Our friend John Lott Jr., who's a criminologist, president of the Crime Prevention Center.
Author.
Right. Best-selling author, University of Chicago. He makes the case in an op-ed in the Chicago Tribune. If Democrats really believe that the National Instant Criminal Background Check System doesn't interfere in any way with people's constitutional rights to own a gun, doesn't it follow that the same system would not constitute an infringement on people's right to vote? This gives Republicans a system for stopping voter fraud and Democrats a system that they've already vigorously endorsed as it pertains to a constitutional right, I'll add. The NICS system doesn't just determine if potential gun buyers have criminal histories. It also checks whether a person is in this country illegally, has a non-immigrant visa, or has renounced his citizenship. Such people are not allowed to vote. The system doesn't currently flag people who are on immigrant visas, but who could be added to the system. In 34 states, felons are not able to vote immediately upon release. You have to get their voting privileges reinstated. The background check system would detect these people, too. So if it doesn't suppress gun ownership, if it's not an unconstitutional infringement on your Second Amendment rights, the background check, why would it suppress legal voter registration or be an unconstitutional infringement on your right to vote? Does he have a point?
What do you think?
Well, I think he's got a point. I mean, there's 6 amendments to the Constitution that deal with voting. The pertinent ones for this discussion are the 15th, which is the remedying the disenfranchisement of blacks. The 19th, of course, women's suffrage. The 26th.
I have that tattoo on my upper thigh.
The 15th Amendment?
No, 19th.
The 19th Amendment? You do?
Yes.
The entire...
Women's suffrage.
All
of it, yeah.
All of it?
Well, my legs are long, so there's room, Dan, okay?
Thank you for that vivid visual. The 26th Amendment, of course, lowering the voting age to 18. So how would that run afoul of constitutional right to vote? It certainly is not violative of any of the language in those amendments. Why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't this be a moment for bipartisan unity around the issue of protecting the integrity of our elections, right? Making sure that only those people that are citizens and eligible to vote.
Well, one is often offered that if you're not a property owner, maybe you shouldn't have the right to vote.
Well, who's saying that?
Well, that is what has been.
We don't live in the 19th century.
Around.
Nobody's. It's not being
just saying-
bandied around by anybody. What are you talking about?
But if you're a property owner, you have more vested in the system. You own something, and you want to make sure that you have a right to vote.
Yes.
Which you would have a right to vote. If you turn 18, you're an American citizen.
Correct. So back to this question. Why would anybody oppose this? Because voter fraud doesn't happen, so it's nothing to worry about, right? That's the Democrats. Well, I mean, we've documented many cases here. Here's another one, just to suggest what this could prevent. 12 employees of the Indiana Voter Registration Project, which focused on registering black voters in the run-up to last year's presidential election, charged with submitting falsified voter registration applications. The registration group itself also faces criminal charges. This is in Indiana. So, I mean, for example, you would be disincentivized from doing something like that because of the small chance of getting away with voter fraud. No system is fail-safe. So NICS isn't fail-safe for gun ownership, and this would be fail-safe for voter fraud. But it would be a enhanced layer of protection. And why wouldn't that be a good thing? Because remember, this is not race-based, it's not gender-based. If somebody votes illegally, then they're taking away the franchise of me, you, an African-American citizen, a Latino citizen. Right? So wouldn't we all want to prevent that? Who would have a vested interest in opposing such a reasonable measure?
I can't think of it.
Yeah.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line.
Maybe Russ can help us. Russ and Elmhurst, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
That's one of the funniest jokes I have heard in a long time.
Which one?
Yeah, about 60% of the Democrats wouldn't be able to vote if they actually did that. I mean, come on.
Well, thanks for the call, Russ. So you're suggesting that Democrats may not be on board with this. I'd love to hear from a self-identified Democrat. I mean, is there a reason to oppose this? What would be the reason? I mean, Chuck Schumer has said about background checks on gun purchases from the John Lott op-ed. These background checks, quote, make our communities and neighborhoods safer without in any way abridging rights or threatening a legitimate part of the American heritage. Why wouldn't a background check for voting accomplish the same thing with respect to our electoral system? Isn't this the Russian collusion investigation, Russia meddling with our election? Isn't this about the integrity of our elections? It's the state and local level. What could be a reason to oppose this? Harry and Wilmette, you're in Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yes, I guess important category of voters. Can the estate of deceased person, can they own a gun? Because there's a lot of voters that dead.
Sure. Yes. Right. Of course. Thank you for the call, Harry. Harry's worried about
What's
the
he
dead.
say? Oh, if he can own a gun when he's dead?
Well, he's worried
you
about...
bury the weapon with him, right?
His point is to say that since the dead vote in Cook County, he is curious whether the dead have to pass a background check to obtain a weapon. It's a legitimate question in this county, in Cook County.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so much everywhere, but it is a good question that he asked, just in terms of the constitutional comparison between our voting rights and our rights to self-protection. You know, I mean, remember during the campaign, we had Creamy Bob,
Ew,
the
stop it.
convicted felon husband of Calamity Jan Schakowsky.
Yes.
And
how's that happy couple doing?
His gay attaché were trying to commit voter fraud in Wisconsin. They were going to drive people from Illinois to Wisconsin to vote in the Wisconsin election because, of course, it was more competitive. Right. They were caught on undercover video by O'Keefe and his Project Veritas, but they were conspiring to commit voter fraud. So again,
and whatever happened to him?
If you don't, well,
I mean, he stepped down from his position, but he's not in jail.
No, exactly, not in jail again. You mean?
Right.
Yeah, but I mean,
second time's always better.
But so a background check system would also potentially catch your actual residence, so it would indicate to election authorities where you can and cannot vote. So wouldn't that be a good thing? I mean, again, I'm trying to figure out why anyone would oppose this. John in Frankfurt, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Dan, just a quick thing. I think about this a minute. So for the background check, you get charged for that.
Yeah, well, we'd waive the fee. It would be we'd finance it. I understand. It's a good point you raise. It's a good point you raise about the idea of like a poll tax. Well, we wouldn't make it. We wouldn't allow that. Poll taxes are illegal. So we just say the way to do this is
interns.
No, the way to do this is to have the federal government pay for it, or state and local governments pay for it. We don't have the money to ensure that we have elections that we can that we know are conducted with integrity. Sure, we do.
Yeah, but you're cutting a revenue stream. Isn't that a little thing for politicians?
Yeah, right. Okay. Thanks for the call, John. Appreciate it. Yeah, there we go. The other John in Itasca.
A lot of Johns today.
Yeah. Boy.
Hi there, Dan.
Or John's
I
on
had
the
a
North
thought.
Avenue Bridge.
I was thinking, how about a motor shooter law? Anyone with a driver's license can get a handgun without having a background check.
Oh, there you go. Motor shooter law. Thanks for the call, John. And by the way, I like the name of that, too. Motor shooter. It's not just for people on the Dan Ryan anymore. So here's the thing about that. But, I mean, it really is an interesting argument that Lott makes because we're talking about constitutional rights. And we're talking about a method of checking that is not violative of the right. I think this is a pretty good parallel that he parallel that he presents, and an argument that he makes for background checks for voting. Boy, I'd love to hear a counter from from anybody, but particularly from the left, because for some reason, per Russ and Elmhurst, I think the Democrats wouldn't be on board with this, and I'd love to hear why.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, how has Patty passed the time? Patty Blagojevich, that is. 5.5 years her husband's been in prison. But first, here's your forecast. We're going to have beautiful sunshine today. Enjoy it. Just a nice day and pretty warm, a high of 76 degrees. Then tonight, remnants of Hurricane Irma move in here. Nothing like they's had, but we're going to have rain, cloudy skies off and on parts of tonight and into tomorrow. Tomorrow's high 73 degrees. Let's get into our alarm detection systems. Traffic center here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. CTA Brown Line trains are stopped at Southport Station right now due to a door problem. On the north side, Chicago police are investigating a shooting. Howard is closed between Sheridan and Rogers. Eden's inbound delay started at Oakton 36 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 28. The Kennedy is now an hour from O'Hare to downtown, 28 minutes from Montrose, 25 on the Express. Outbound 52 minutes to the airport. The Ike, an hour and 15 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound 48 minutes. Stevenson, an hour 16, 3:55 to the drive, outbound 42 minutes. Ryan, 28 minutes from 95th to the Loop. Lakeshore Drive still okay. Northbound Tri-State, slow 111th to 87th. From the Stevenson, 47th. And from the Reagan Tollway, most of the way to Irving Park. Reagan Tollway slow now, most of the way from the Fox River to 53. Veterans Memorial from I-55, most of the way to Roosevelt. And from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Jim Talamonte, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Risk mitigation is an important consideration that smart companies pay attention to in today's complicated business climate. Some of the greatest risks occur when your company hires new employees or when you execute new business financial relationships. When your company hires, leases, or conducts financial transactions, decisions are critical. That's why veteran-owned and operated Global Verification Network is a company you should know. Startups to Fortune 100s trust Global Verification Network, and so should you. They're a background screening and investigative services company dedicated to expert, timely, and affordable background screening services for employment, tenant screening, and business due diligence. Global Verification Network is headquartered in Chicagoland, a federally recognized veteran-owned small business, and never offshores data like many competitors. To request your company's risk analysis without obligation or cost, visit globalverificationnetwork.com or call 877-695-1179. Or visit them online at globalverificationnetwork.com. Global Verification Network, the risk mitigation experts, 877-695-1179.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had some ulcer issues on my leg that I had from Vietnam. It would erupt on occasion of periods of stress. When I was taking juices, these ulcers had disappeared, but I was not able to get good quality fruits and vegetables to make good juices. And, these ulcers came back. But since I've been taking the fruit and the veggie capsules, these ulcers again have subsided.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
When Hurricane Irma struck South Florida over the weekend, the world turned upside down. Children suffer in unimaginable ways, and Save the Children is there to meet their unique needs. Even now, Save the Children is in Florida and along the East Coast, making sure hurt and frightened children impacted by Hurricane Irma get the help they need. To care for and protect children has been the mission of Save the Children for nearly 100 years, so when tragedies like Hurricane Irma strike, they're prepared and they're on the ground for children and their families, around the world and right here at home. Your $50 right now to Save the Children will send love, care, and essential supplies for families forced to evacuate, including hygiene kits, blankets, portable cribs, strollers, and more. Call 888-606-9647. That's 888-606-9647. Or give online at savethechildren.org/radio. Or dial pound 250 on your cell phone. Use the keyword Irma. Pound 250 on your cell phone. Keyword Irma.
AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy, talking about that voting background check idea that John Lott Jr. opined on. Text from 847. I know your question is rhetorical. However, the answer is because this country doesn't have a long history of denying minorities the rights of gun ownership. They do have a history of denying minorities with the right to vote.
Do they? I don't.
That makes no sense. First of all, you're wrong on denying blacks the rights of gun ownership, when they were slaves. Hello. Secondly, even if that weren't true, that still makes no sense. This has nothing to do with race. This has to do with eligibility to vote based on being an American citizen and the background check associated with that. And even convicted felons can have their voting rights reinstated. They just, in most states, need to follow a process to have that happen. So this has nothing to do with race. So that comparison is totally illegitimate. I don't understand it. Chuck in Orland Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, Dan and Amy. That wouldn't work because you turned it into a one-party system. They depend on those votes.
Yeah, well, exactly. Thanks for the call, Chuck. But I want to hear a Democrat say that. I want to hear a Democrat say why they would be opposed to the background check on voting the way that there's a background check on gun purchases.
Well, we have lines open, but we're still waiting for a Democrat to call.
Well, yeah, I understand. I mean, because I think the problem is that they can't be honest about why they oppose it, so they have to come up with tortured arguments that feign concern about minority enfranchisement, which is just a lie. I mean, and consistent with the lies of the left.
Well, speaking of torture, Patty Blagojevich
and the lies of the left.
Oh, stop it. Everybody knows Phil Rogers had this exclusive phoner in Chicago Magazine as well with Rod Blagojevich from prison. First time we've seen him in a few years and first time he's spoken in 5.5 years. But what is life like for Patty and the girls?
I would say that the first couple of years were super hard and super distressing. Every single birthday and every single Christmas and Halloween and every single event that would go by and, Rod wouldn't be there. It was so heartbreaking. But the sad part is right now it's almost like you don't expect him to be there because he's been gone for, tomorrow is Amy's 21st birthday. And so this is the 6th birthday that he's missed. So it's like you're not looking for him at the table anymore.
Yeah, you know how it's gotten easier is they just stop visiting him.
No.
They treat him you need to...
Well, okay.
You need to move on.
No, they visit him 3 times a year.
But that's not as frequent as they used to. It used to be monthly.
Okay. But you know what? It costs a lot of money to fly 3 people to Denver. And
I'm just telling you what the story is.
Visiting hours are very tight. And when they leave, it's
not
just...
criticizing. I'm just giving you the facts.
And this is what it's like because there's a little bit of a letdown every time they have to say goodbye to him. It's hard.
There's always that post-visit depression that, my little one... And I'm sure she doesn't want me saying this, but I mean, the minute we say goodbye to him, on that Sunday night when we're leaving, she cries all the way to the airport. It's hard for the girls to even want to go to visit because they know how bad they're going to feel when they have to leave him again.
So that might be a reason why that they only go visit 3 times a year. But they talk, Dan, just because I know you care, every night at 9:30.
Well, he gets 300 minutes a month to talk on the phone. So that's really about 10 minutes a day. And then he generally talks to all 3 of us when he calls. I am sure he lives for the phone calls.
Yeah, I mean, unless he's in the yard playing football with Burt Reynolds.
He looks good. I mean, yes, his hair is white, which we all knew when you can't dye your hair in federal prison. But he works out every day and he mops floors.
Can I ask you a question? Why are you so fascinated with this hack politician who's a disgrace to the state, who has imposed untold costs on his family because of his recklessness? You should read the Tribune editorial that Kristen McQuarrie wrote. How much are a few years with your family worth? Is there an ethical lapse that's acceptable, that presents an acceptable risk? They points out, and by the way, this goes for Patty too. During his governorship, the Blagojeviches spent $400,000 on clothing and furs. They mingled with the wealthy. They craved it. They rang up Dad, planning to pay it off when he landed a lucrative job outside government. The whole world is passing me by, and I'm stuck in this job as governor, one of the tapes has Blagojevich saying. I've got to figure out a way to take some of the financial stress off my family. I can't afford college for my daughter. Today, he can hardly afford 4 stamps. His phone calls are monitored.
$8 a month. Yeah.
His visitors are screened. His movements are regulated. His clothing is restricted. He got there by violating the public's trust. So read every word, Illinois Pauls. And we've asked here often and always found an answer. Who's next?
Why I'm upset is because money never exchanged hands. I think they should have waited the feds before moving in on him for that. But I had heard from my FBI source that they moved in on him because he was going to appoint himself to the Senate seat.
Yeah, that's what FBI source. That's what Patrick Fitzgerald said publicly. That's bull jive.
You don't think there's any truth to that?
The FBI has. So what? He's going to appoint himself. Go ahead and try it. When is that going to happen? There'll be a process. There'll be an announcement. That is a weak cover story. I don't buy it for a second. The FBI has never given a sufficient explanation why they didn't get buyer and seller, which I've said before on the show. So I don't absolve Patrick Fitzgerald and the FBI in this case. However, I certainly don't absolve Blagojevich, and you seem to.
And I think time served. You know why? Because this was learned behavior from other Democrats that aren't behind bars.
So he got caught. So because everybody who's done this didn't get caught, no one should be caught and prosecuted.
No, I'm fine. He got caught and prosecuted, but the sentence is egregious. It is irresponsible. I mean, again, I point to these 2 thugs who, on the same day that he spoke to NBC, these 2 guys in the 1900 block of West Sunnyside, right by Blagojevich's houses, were sentenced to 8 years in prison for killing a 19-year-old girl, stabbing her in an alley. How is life fair when their murderers get sentenced to 8 years and he's sentenced to 14 years?
So the response is to empty out the jails and reduce everybody's sentences, or there's an alternate response to this that I've said and you just refuse to contemplate,
okay, what?
And that is that we sentence murderers to more than 8 years. Do you ever think of that? And Blagojevich can still serve out as 14. Bob in DeKalb, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I'm not calling to defend Blagojevich at any length. I think he got exactly what he deserved, and we need to set examples of these politicians and when they do that. But at least he didn't do something sleazy. He did your average, he did real political corruption. He didn't do any sleazy, sex scandal type of stuff, with minors or anything. So
okay.
He is at least stand-up kind of crook that way.
Thanks for the call, Bob. So he's got that going for him.
He's not sexually deviant. No, he's not. Everyone's like, oh, he had affairs. He never had affairs.
Yeah, great. He can, when he gets out of the clink, he can run on the, hey, Illinois, at least I'm not a sexual deviant. Blagojevich for governor in 2030, how about? Let's say.
I think he's gonna stay out
Give
of
me
politics.
A break. What is wrong with people? What is wrong? This is like having a romantic vision of the mob. He's just another thug. He was bad at it.
Well, I heard
too frackin' bad.
I heard he's coming forward now because President Trump recently pardoned Joe Arpaio.
Good luck
they
with
are
that.
hoping that he does the same for his friend because they are friends.
Because they're desperate and they're the drowning man looking for anything that floats. And it's not going to happen.
You try it too if you're in jail.
And the Andy Dufresne impersonation he did for NBC5 isn't going to cut it. So good luck with that. Coming up at 7:37, we'll talk to Jeff Cohn, Chicago Tribune political reporter and author of the book Golden, how Rod Blagojevich talked himself out of the governor's office and into prison where he's staying and should stay. Now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
62 clouds and sunshine, and what once was Hurricane Irma pouring death and destruction into the southeast is now been downgraded again, lower than a tropical depression. Still heavy rain, though, pouring on parts of the Midwest and South. French President Emmanuel Macron has arrived in Guadeloupe, the first step of his French Caribbean, a visit to islands hammered by Irma. White House Homeland Security Advisor Tom Bossert says many in Florida will be without power for weeks.
There are still dangerous conditions, downed electric lines, flood conditions, problems that would be compounded by your reentry. And so listen to your local officials not only about evacuation, but then about when and how to stagger your reentry.
And Hurricane Katia, in the biggest earthquake to hit Mexico in 100 years, are now forcing that country to pull back its offer to help Texas deal with damage from Hurricane Harvey. The Amtrak engineer charged in the deadly 2015 derailment outside Philadelphia will be in court later today. Brian Bostian wants the involuntary manslaughter and reckless endangerment charges that he's facing dismissed. California suing the feds over the decision to end DACA. Attorney General Javier Busara announced the suit yesterday.
They're here because they were brought here when they were 4. They didn't make the decision to come. And for quite some time, they, like their families, had to live in the shadows.
Bakar believes the federal government did a bait and switch, his words, to DACA recipients who gave the government their information last year. Mayor Emanuel losing a top aide. Sun-Times reports senior advisor Mike Rendina leaving to accept a private sector opportunity. A man is dead following a shooting in Dalton. Derek Hill shot this morning, according to police, near Shepherd and University Avenue. Illinois' education secretary leaving her post. Governor's office says Education Secretary Beth Purvis is leaving state government to return to nonprofit work. Bears wideout Kevin White heading for IR, suffering a fractured shoulder blade in Sunday's season-opening loss to Atlanta. Jose Abreu with 2 RBI, leading a 17-hit attack. White Sox beat the Royals 11-3. The news, a service of Firestone Complete Auto Care. The 4,000 ASE certified technicians at Firestone Complete Auto Care have the state-of-the-art tools to keep your car running newer longer. Take advantage of the Bonus Savings Day event and get $100 off any purchase of $500 or more. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager is on board with the president's ending of DACA.
President has done what is utterly constitutional and said, let Congress renew or modify DACA. I am not for deporting these people, and I am for ending DACA. So you have to figure out what to do there. I am for having Congress represent the will of the American people with regard to immigration.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at GalaxyHome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
Roof is needy?
Call Crumweedy.
Roof is leaky?
Call Crumweedy.
Shingles are curly?
Call Crumweedy.
Roof isn't right after it's stormy?
Call Crumweedy.
Here comes winter. Well, soon. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson of Crumweedy.
A third-generation family business.
We're conservative just like you.
We've been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953.
Really good roofs.
The difference is installation.
Hey, we know that. That's why we follow the manufacturer specifications, so your warranty is totally intact.
A lot of companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty.
Hate the high pressure?
Not from us.
We give you multiple options. Then you choose.
A roof that lasts at a fair price.
We fix roof problems.
When your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy. We say call. How about the number?
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
MyRoofIsNeedy.com. Hey, do it now. Get it done before the winter comes.
Crumweedy. We fix roof problems.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his two business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Bastuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
7:37. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens runs 33 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. The Kennedy, an hour and 15 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 37 from Montrose, same on the Express. Outbound 56 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 24 minutes. Thorndale to Loop, outbound 58 minutes. Stevenson, an hour 16, 3:55 to the drive, outbound 42 minutes. Ryan is 29 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, low 111th to 87th. From the Stevenson to 47th. And from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park, Veterans Memorial, slow I-55 most to the way to Roosevelt. And from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Traffic at the service of Sprint. Just in time for back to school. Get your kid a great deal on a Samsung or LG device. The Sprint deal spectacular. Hurry in while supplies last. Or call 1-800-SPRINT1 or visit sprint.com/deals. Works for me. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte at AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. A pleasant day ahead. Plenty of sunshine. 75 for a high temp. We'll have clear skies overnight. 56 for a low. And then tomorrow, another beautiful day. High 77. Currently, we have 57 at O'Hare and 62 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Indulge in the specialties of over 20 restaurants at Gourmet on the Green, a fun family event on Thursday, September 14th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Village Greens of Woodridge. Enjoy food, spirits, and gift card raffles. Tickets on sale now at chamber630.com.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So this Chicago Magazine NBC5 interview of Blagojevich, his first from prison. You wonder what he's doing in prison. He's not teaching anymore, but he's keeping himself busy.
And I believe you were teaching classes, they said. Do you still teach?
No, I don't teach. I'm my jurisdiction. I used to be the governor of the 5th largest state. My jurisdiction now is 2 hallways that I sweep and mop. So no, but I try to do the best I can. I do believe in clean government, and I do believe in clean floors.
That was a cringeworthy
clean government
for me.
and clean floors. Blago 2030.
Well, he used to teach
back and better than ever.
He did teach history of the Civil War and history of World War II, and he does help inmates, prepares them for life outside prison walls where they can, do mock interviews.
Yeah,
he
I know. He's getting busy living. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Jeff Cohn, Chicago Tribune political reporter, as well as the author of the book on Blago, Golden, how Rod Blagojevich talked himself out of the governor's office and into prison. Jeff, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. So what was your impression or a takeaway or two from the Blagojevich interview?
Well, he's had a few years, I guess, to come up with that line you just played there.
Yeah, he has.
I thought, in general, I thought it was interesting. Everybody was kind of interested in the slice of life stuff behind bars, but I think as a reporter who's covered it for a long time, I think we, very quickly went to see if there was any sign of contrition in what he said, which we didn't really see anything. He's kind of still, standing by the idea that he didn't really do anything wrong here. And I think, for me, the other thing I'm struck by was, I think, some real sadness, though, finally, which is something we don't really see with him. We don't think about, kind of that crack in the shell that he puts up forming. But I think there were some real moments in there where he was speaking honestly about separation from his daughters and the fact that, the reality of the number of years that he has to do there has really hit home. And, in sort of a Rod way, he kind of describes that as similar to taking a punch in the Ali Frazier fight. He has to always go back to his sports metaphors and whatnot. But, in general, I think it was, it was interesting to see what he's been up to.
So he's maintaining his innocence. I understand that. But he was pointing out, he got a longer sentence than Al Capone. I mean, he's still upset about this crazy 14 years behind bars. And I agree with him. I think most of us agree that is just, it's too long. 14 years you don't think is too long? You want your tax dollars going to
No, I don't.
feed him
I don't
and
think it's too long.
clothe him in prison?
No, I don't.
Well, I think, and what he was referencing there, I believe, is Nick Calabrese in the Family Secrets case, because that's the same judge.
Mm-hmm.
It was Judge Zagel who sentenced them both. And Calabrese was on the stand talking about, killing a number of people, and he got a term slightly less than what Rod got. But, the opinions continue to rage out there, and as far as whether that was fair or not, he's had various appeals at this point, and he's done about everything he can do with the appeals court here, the federal appeals court. So his only pitch really is to go to the Supremes from here.
I want to go back to something you said about him talking about his family and the disconnection from his family. They visit him less frequently. His daughters don't read his emails that he sends them. So kind of his lessening relevance in their lives, just as he has been eliminated from relevance in the lives of Illinois families generally. And it seems to me, though, from those statements he made to Phil Rogers, like the clean government and clean floors, there's not a lot of authenticity there. Invoking Kipling, the same poem he invoked on his way out is the poem he invokes today. Viktor Frankl, talking about comparing essentially himself to Viktor Frankl in an Auschwitz concentration camp. He's the victim, and his answers are all political and contrived. He says things about his family that you're supposed to say. I don't buy it.
Well, I mean, that's obviously a cynic's view, and I think a lot of reporters are in the same basket with you on some of that stuff. And he does often, dig deep into the same kind of pool of references. And you do roll your eyes a little bit when he compares himself to Nelson Mandela when he gets asked about his possible political future, even though he carries on to say, I'm not comparing myself to him, but then, proceeds to do just that. But it would be hard to imagine that he doesn't have some legitimate feelings about being separated from his girls. And I think when he has, when people have been sympathetic toward his situation, that's always the thing where you've got to imagine there's some genuine feelings there when you've got two girls growing up on the outside and he's cut off from it and in basically every way, and it's revealed by his wife. They don't even like to go because it's so heartbreaking for them still. And you're right. You mentioned he spends all his time writing a prayer, as he calls it, and says he mirrors it on a psalm, and they don't even read it. And there's got to be some actual soul-crushing moments in there for the guy.
Well, he's missed everything. I mean, their high school graduations, prom. If she gets married within the next 5 years, he's not going to be able to walk his daughter down the aisle. I mean, the list goes on and on. But
he missed,
do you think that they're coming?
third base line seats for the Cubs World Series.
I know,
which he would have had as governor because he was another one of these machine guys who gets everything on our dime.
Yeah,
so he missed that. We really missed him there.
So there's this. The family started a petition online to have President Trump pardon him or commute his sentence. Do you think that they're coming forward now? Because, they've had plenty of time to come forward in the past to tell his story because of the recent pardon of Joe Arpaio.
Yeah, the timing's interesting, and that's certainly, they are definitely, longtime political players. They typically don't do anything like this by accident. They're media people. All through the case, they're very calculating in what they put out when, and, so there's got to be something that they're looking to, and that could very well be it. I'm not going to try to, climb into the president's brain, that's for sure. But it's hard to know exactly what he's looking at. Is he trying to just keep the case out there at this point because now is the time to make a pitch to the Supreme Court and he wants to generate some kind of publicity and sympathy and whatnot? Or is he trying to catch the president's eye? I'm not sure. But he clearly has something in his mind why this is the time to do it versus, 2 years ago or 2 years from now.
I wonder if John Sally is still an important person in their lives.
You stop it.
I mean, so
Patty opened up to him, and I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here.
Exactly, and this is the point. And Jeff, you just raised it, which is where I wanted to go. The idea of how calculating they are, both of them, on reality TV shows while he's under indictment. Yeah, I know they're trying to make money to pay legal bills. Boo hoo. Meanwhile, Dick Mell, in another machine reptile, is entered in to finance things in Rod's absence after their falling out and all this stuff, this crime family falling out they had. The calculating nature of this, and it seems to me that a lot of people still, when you hear the maudlin responses from Rod Blagojevich, the fishhook goes right back in the mouths of Illinois voters, and they want to completely forget everything Rod Blagojevich did, including, oh, by the way, all of the items on the punch list for which he was impeached. It wasn't like it was just the quote-unquote sale of the Senate seat. There were a lot of other things Rod Blagojevich did that were impeachment-worthy, and they're all there for the public to see, but we're supposed to forget it. That's, it seems to me, what the Blagojeviches would like us to do.
Well, it's always been a tough sell, too, because as you well know, the backbone of the case was recordings of him, and so that the criminal case was really built on his own speech and his own talking about just this thing. So it's always been kind of a scattershot defense where he's wanted all of these tapes to be played so people can read into the context of tape number 36 instead of tape number 312, and it's very difficult to kind of climb your way out of that when you're talking about yourself.
And those tapes too. Here's the other thing. Why doesn't he tell us what's on those tapes that weren't played? He could. Why doesn't he tell us? What did he say? What did he say to Rahm Emanuel or whoever else he wants to quote unquote take down with him? His big tell-all book that was supposed to be such a blockbuster, a nothing burger, just like this interview. Why doesn't he give us chapter and verse? He could do it. He doesn't.
Well, you're right. There are different options for him, and I think he's still kind of trying to play by the rules and the parameters of the legal system while he still has outlets there. I don't know if the day will come where he'll ever, throw everything out himself, because obviously they would still have access to some of that material. But, I mean, you know what some of the nuance was, which was that, say, for example, the Jesse Jackson Jr. part, that was really a ploy because he was really trying to force the Madigan's hands on the other side. And it's things like that. And that's been part of his complaint about the judge in the case, is that he felt like he was hamstrung and wasn't allowed to play for the jury tapes that would have been, more for his view of what was really going on.
All right. He is Jeff Cohn, Chicago Tribune political reporter, author of the book Golden, How Rod Blagojevich Talked Himself Out of the Governor's Office and Into Prison. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.
You too.
And this topic is lighting up the phone lines.
Let's take a couple of our friends in the listening audience. Why don't we?
Yes.
How about Bill in Crown Point?
Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you this morning?
Morning.
Morning.
Listen, I was just kind of curious, Amy. You're pointing out that Blago got 14 years. Great. I understand that you don't agree with the sentence, but how do you compare the two between Sheriff Joe and who I think is a stand-up individual who was enforcing the laws versus somebody who was skirting the laws, who was breaking the laws, and it's pretty well evident, the two.
You know what? If they caught him in the act actually exchanging money, then I'd be more for the sentencing. But it's just a sick overreach of the government, I think, to sentence him for 14 years, and they should have waited till that moment. So,
what about withholding government funds from Children's Hospital?
Oh, shaking down Children's Hospital for $50,000 campaign fund?
That's
worth a year in prison. Okay.
What
he
about
served 5.5 years.
Oh, okay.
Judge
Jamie.
Well,
Pardon?
I mean, the man was convicted of something that he shouldn't have been in the first place.
Oh, I'm not comparing cases. I'm not comparing cases. I'm just saying that somebody had told me that the reason why they're coming forward now is because he just recently pardoned Joe Arpaio.
Yeah.
And Blagojevich has a relationship with Trump.
That's all.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, though, for
Thanks
calling.
for the call, Bill. Pete on the north side. Hey, Pete.
Hey, Dan. How are you?
Good. You're on. Go ahead, Pete.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to comment. I could care less about his sentence, if it's too high or too low, but what are we doing about Hillary Clinton and Obama? You tell me what she did is not against the law, and you tell me that Obama was not part of this Lago thing? Please.
Thanks for the call, Pete. Mark in Plainfield.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Amy, you're fair about the Blago sentence because he doesn't have more roommates How about Madigan, the Dailies, the Strogers, probably most of Congress, most of the Senate? More of these politicians should be serving 14 years. Get that Eggert County Watch Group out. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Owen in Willowbrook.
Hello, Dan and Amy. I think the guy that really got kind of the raw deal out of this was Blagojevich's brother.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, the Fed squeezed him. I don't know what he's worth today, but I think he spent just about every dime, had to repair his reputation, and the Feds used the power of the government to squeeze them, and they will do that whether a family member is guilty or not guilty.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And normally, Rod.
Thanks for the call.
Rod normally comes on this program when we ask him to, and he declined this time. Robert Blagojevich, not Rod. Excuse me. Which is interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was certainly a falling out, and I agree with Owen that Robert Blagojevich was really given the raw deal in all of this. That's true. Northbrook, Robert in Northbrook. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, guys. I think we should send him a rock hammer.
Yeah.
And then if he can climb and crawl through 4 football fields of that sewage, then I think we should let him go.
All right, thanks.
But he has to crawl through that.
Thanks for the call, Robert. Now, also, in addition to the rock hammer, importantly, you need the Rita Hayworth poster. You can't have one without the other.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
What do you call charging thousands of dollars for hearing aids? I call it outrageous, because hearing should not be a privilege for the rich. It's a basic right everyone deserves. Hi, I'm Dr. Cherukuri, board-certified ear, nose, and throat physician. If you or a loved one suffer from hearing loss but can't afford thousands for a hearing aid, I created MD Hearing Aid for you. A high-quality medical-grade hearing aid for a fraction of that price.
Try MD Hearing Aid at home, risk-free for 45 days. Call 1-800-300-0868.
No costly doctor's visit. No expensive and time-consuming fittings or appointments. No ugly, old-fashioned hearing aid that costs thousands. MD Hearing Aid is an FDA-registered, audiologist-tested hearing aid that's discreet and lets you hear what you've been missing at a savings of more than 80% off the average price of a traditional hearing aid.
Try MD Hearing Aid risk-free for 45 days. Call 1-800-300-0868. Plus, you'll get free shipping and free batteries for a year. 1-800-300-0868.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. They're not going to help you unless they're put on notice. They're going to be held accountable if they do not support the President of the United States. Those are the words of Chief Trump Street Fighter Steve Bannon on 60 Minutes in response to Charlie Rose's protestation that he's attacking the very GOP leadership who support the President needs. Whether or not you agree with all of the component parts of the Trump-Bannon policy agenda, and I do not, Bannon is correct about the mechanics of moving the flag in politics. As Milton Friedman observed, politics is the art of getting the wrong people to do the right thing. That requires the application of pressure. A policy agenda is moved mainly by aligning interests, not making friends. And the number one interest of virtually every office holder is to hold their office. What the big government press corps in D.C. describes as infighting is better understood as an accountability mechanism. You either keep the promises you made or you won't be in a position to make them anymore. Members of Congress are not our betters. They are our temporary representatives. All are replaceable. Many are interchangeable. A political party that has intra-party channels to maintain discipline is a governing party. One that does not will be a minority party until they do. Take it from someone who lives in Illinois.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
Do you know the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers? We do. Do you know how to make your logo come alive and magnetically attract new, long-lasting customers? We do. And do you know how to ensure your logo is delivered on the right promotional items on time at a great price? We do. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Who are we? We're 4imprint, the nation's leading team to make your logo shine on your choice of thousands of promotional items. And right now, we want to share with you, for free, the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers. Discover them now by texting TOP to 642-642. Let us show you what a difference the right promotional items can make to help grow your brand. With 4imprint, you'll get high-quality products, exclusive items, popular brands, on-time delivery, and outstanding customer service. That's what we do. Discover the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers by texting TOP to 642-642. That's TOP to 642-642.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I've had 10 major surgeries, including 3 brain surgeries. And I have extreme rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and fibromyalgia. And I wanted to let him know that His Balance of Nature have helped boost my immune system so much because I'm on injectable medications for the rheumatoid, and they bring down your immune system. Since I've been taking Balance of Nature, I haven't gotten a cold, nothing. It really helped me tremendously.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, Jay, did I miss out? Have the rates gone up? The answer is no. Rates are still low, and it's a perfect time to refinance your home, especially if your mortgage rate is higher than 4.25%. If you'd like to lower your interest rate and save thousands of dollars in interest without starting over on a new 30-year loan, a Quicken Loans Yorgage is what you're looking for. With our exclusive Yorgage, you can choose a term that works best for you, anywhere from 8 to 30 years. The rate today on an 8-year Yorgage is 3.25%, APR 3.75%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield. We cover major components of air conditioners, plus 20 other home systems and appliances, like electrical systems, plumbing, refrigerators, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. That's 1-800-400-6096. 1-800-400-6096.
Are you satisfied that your business is being seen effectively online? Call 866-SEEN-360 and discover how to capture a larger share of traffic, leads, and sales from your online advertising budget. Call 866-SEEN-360 for a proven system to market your business in the digital world that includes unique reporting that tracks and confirms that you're being seen. Call 866-SEEN-360 today and talk to digital experts who can provide your business with a comprehensive strategy. That's 866-SEEN-360.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
More Floridians are going back home. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
This is going to be a frustrating event.
FEMA Administrator Brock Long says, especially in the Upper Keys, where people are being allowed to return this morning.
The majority of the homes there have been impacted in some ways, with several of them destroyed and many more with major damage.
People in the Lower Keys will have to wait longer for more road repairs. In Jacksonville, which got some bad Hurricane Irma surge flooding, leading to 356 people being rescued yesterday. Mandatory evacuation orders have been lifted. More than half the state, though, remains out of power. Fox's Jeff Manasso is live in Tampa.
Dave, Irma has passed, though many parts of Florida remain unsafe because of rising water and flooding fears, downed power lines and trees, and supply shortages, even here in Tampa, which was spared the brunt of destruction.
We're doing everything we can to get fuel back in the state. We have about 65% of the state out without power. It's going to take us a long time.
Governor Rick Scott, all major roadways have reopened statewide as damage assessment continues and people try to make their way back home. Airports, including Miami, Orlando, and Tampa, also resuming limited service today while urging passengers to double-check with air carriers first. Dave.
Jeff Irma is now blamed for 11 deaths in the U.S., including a man killed in the Tampa area when the chainsaw he was using kicked up and cut his neck. At least 35 were killed in the Caribbean islands, where there's a lot of destruction. France's president goes to St. Martin today, along with a ship full of food and supplies, much needed. Hillary Clinton is convinced there was collusion in the 2016 campaign between Trump associates and Russia. telling USA Today she thinks there was a financial relationship they've been trying to hide. Of course, President Trump's called the probe into that a witch hunt, fake news.
Her new book, called What Happened, hits bookstore shelves today. In it, she details what it was like to run against Donald Trump, the mistakes she made, and how she dealt with losing the election.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Hazy sunshine this morning, 62 degrees, winds from the northeast at 5. At 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. Mayor Emanuel this morning, apparently losing a top aide. Sun-Times reports senior advisor Mike Rendina leaving Friday to accept a private sector opportunity. However, leaving at this time may allow him the freedom to work part-time on an Emanuel re-election campaign if the mayor chooses to run for a third term. Former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich speaking out for the first time since entering prison for corruption 5 years ago. In an interview with Chicago Magazine, Blagojevich still maintains he never crossed any lines in seeking to raise campaign cash. Illinois' education secretary leaving her post. The governor's office saying yesterday Secretary Beth Purvis is leaving state government to return back to nonprofit work. The CTA this morning is showing riders have lost a little more than $16 million by failing to register their transit cards. Chicago Transit customers receive a $5 refund for registering their Ventra cards within 90 days of purchase. The Trib reporting that CTA passengers have spent a little more than $24 million on those transit cards since 2013. Only a little more than $8 million has been refunded to customers. Chicago sports, Bears wideout. Former number one pick Kevin White headed for IR again, this time with a fractured shoulder blade. Jose Abreu led a 17-hit attack in a White Sox win over the Royals 11-3. The news is a service of your local Jeep dealer. It's 1 week to Jeep at your local Jeep dealer. Get the best deals of the year on award-winning lineups, but don't wait. 1 week to Jeep ends soon. Hurry in and see your local Jeep dealer today. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, the federal government is investigating Arkema's Crosby, Texas plant. Chemical containers at the factory caught fire after flooding from Hurricane Harvey. Reuters says the Environmental Protection Agency wants to know whether Arkema was following chemical accident prevention rules. Small business owners are feeling better about the economy and are planning to invest in their companies. The National Federation of Independent Business survey of its members improved last month. Business owners say they're expecting less regulation and more business-friendly policies. When Apple unveils its new products today, AT&T wireless workers, represented by the Communications Workers of America, will be outside Apple's new headquarters picketing. Apple is an AT&T partner, but it's non-union. The Dow closed up 259 points yesterday. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Are you satisfied that your business is being seen effectively online? Call 866-SEEN-360 and discover how to capture a larger share of traffic, leads, and sales from your online advertising budget. Call 866-SEEN-360 for a proven system to market your business in the digital world that includes unique reporting that tracks and confirms that you're being seen. Call 866-SEEN-360 today and talk to digital experts who can provide your business with a comprehensive strategy. That's 866-SEEN-360.
As the head of procurement for my company, I was sweating a big deadline and got tired of calling my printer for updates, only to hear excuses. So I heard about McGrath Printing Custom Apparel and gave them a call. I got A+ service and they beat the deadline. McGrath Printing really saved my...
I'm a supply chain manager for a Fortune 500 company, and we had $50,000 of product waiting for instruction manuals because our printer couldn't deliver on time. One call to McGrath Printing Custom Apparel, and they saved my...
At McGrath Printing Custom Apparel, they've been saving companies for over 35 years. Give them a call at 815-356-5246. That's 815-356-5246. And mention code AM560 and get 20% off your first order. So remember,
go to where the pros go. McGrathPrint.com. McGrath isn't just a place, it's a feeling that you're safe to enjoy the things that matter most. ADT lets you take that feeling with you, whether you're at home, your business, or online. We help keep you safe with security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling for less than $1 a day. ADT. Home. Safe home.
As a small business owner, you're juggling it all, including customers' calls from your personal phone. But with Grasshopper, you get a business phone number and a business phone system from our mobile app, so you can work smarter, not harder. Grasshopper forwards calls, texts, even transcribes voicemails. Everything you need to simplify your business and stay responsive. With Grasshopper, there's no long-term contracts, and customer support is 24/7. Whether you're starting or growing your business, Grasshopper is the answer. Now, get $20 off your plan when you visit grasshopper.com/radio.
8:07 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. And Wheaton Roosevelt Road is closed between County Farm and Schaffner due to a crash. Eden's 32 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 30. The Kennedy, an hour and 16 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 38 minutes from Montrose, 30 in the Express, outbound 50 to the airport. The Eisenhower's an hour and a half from Thorndale to the post office. An hour 12 from Manheim, outbound 53 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 24 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 48 minutes. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to the Loop. I-57, 35 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 55. Tri-State northbound, heavy 111th to 47th. The Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower, North Avenue to Irving Park. Adams Tollway's okay. Reagan Tollway slow Randall to 59 and 53 to Highland. Veterans Memorial from I-55 most to the way to Roosevelt. The Army Trail toll to 290. Northwest Indiana looks fine. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, sun through high clouds, high 76. Tonight, partly cloudy with a shower in spots. Toward dawn, low 59. Clouds give way to some sun tomorrow with a shower in a few places. High 73. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 57 at O'Hare, 62 along the lakefront. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So 60 Minutes on Sunday, Steve Bannon had this to say about the president's decision on DACA and what a deal with Democrats could portend for the GOP come the beginning of next year.
I'm worried about losing the House now because of DACA. And my fear is that with this 6 months downrange, if we have another huge, if this goes all the way down to its logical conclusion in February and March, it will be a civil war inside the Republican Party that will be every bit as vitriolic as 2013. And to me, doing that in the springboard of primary season for 2018 is extremely unwise.
So are we seeing the gathering storm for a GOP civil war? Let's put that to our friend Michael Goodwin from the New York Post, who has an interesting piece about the possibility of a turning point in the Trump presidency we're witnessing. Michael, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. So what about Bannon's expressed concern about a civil war brewing over how the president handles DACA?
Well, look, I admire a lot of things Bannon says and agree with a lot of them. This one I don't. I mean, look, I think that's sort of what he wants. He wants a civil war to drive out the moderates. He wants a much more conservative Republican Party. But I don't think it's going to happen over DACA. I mean, just consider the alternatives. What could the president do? Throw all 800,000 out of the country, round them up? I don't think Bannon is actually proposing that, but that is the alternative to the president sending it back to Congress for a solution. Now, look, it may well be that whatever happens, there will be unhappy Republicans or maybe unhappy Democrats, too. But I think there are other issues driving the split in the Republican Party. DACA would certainly contribute to them, but I don't think by itself it would cause a civil war that would cause the party to lose Congress in the midterms.
So a lot of it seems to me, and we talked to Joel Pollack yesterday on the show, senior editor for Breitbart, and he kind of was even sort of open-minded on this. It seems to me it's the kind of deal that Trump does on DACA. Does he get funding for border security, the wall, and other associated items related to border security, for example, to dull the blade of some kind of permanent status for DACA designees, for example, right? It seems to me that's where the center of gravity is in the party.
Well, I think that's where the center of gravity is in the country as well. And I think that, you referenced my column, which was not about DACA, but about the debt limit and closing the government and hurricane relief, that he made a deal with Democrats that was more attractive to Democrats than it was Republicans, who wanted a longer debt limit period. They didn't want to have to revisit the topic before the midterms. But look, I think the president has got to solve the big problems facing the country. That's why we elect a president. Yes, he's elected by essentially his supporters from one side of the aisle by and large. But once you're president, you have to deal with all of the problems. You have to deal with them in a way that the country finds acceptable. And I think if there's any lesson of the Obama years, it is that when the Democrats rammed everything through on a straight party line vote, they reaped the whirlwind. I mean, the fact that the Democrats are now at their lowest stage in 100 years in terms of elected officials across the country, that is very much a direct consequence of the way they handled issues in Congress and the executive orders
that's a good point.
Obama sent.
Yeah.
So I think Trump is forced by circumstances to take a different path. Republicans are not giving him the votes on their own, so he's got to engage Democrats on pretty much everything now.
Well, going back to DACA real quick, during that 60 Minutes interview, Steve Bannon suggested self-deportation, and you and I think that would never happen. I mean, it was almost a laughable moment for me personally. What was that for you?
Well, that's the Mitt Romney phrase, right? And it was a disaster when Romney used it 5 years ago now. Look, I think there is no easy solution to these problems. I mean, if there were, they would have been done years ago. But these are all things of failure of the government to come to grips with the problems that the country cares about. And that's why Trump was elected. Let's not forget that if the status quo were fine, Hillary Clinton would have been president. And so I think that this revolutionary president, this revolution that we had at the ballot box last year, is basically not just a license, but it's a commandment to get things done. And it doesn't mean to just kick the can down the road forever. And I think the president is right to try to get it back to Congress, see where is the consensus in Congress. He's obviously got his own ideas if Congress doesn't come up with an answer. But the courts were going to weigh in eventually, so something had to be done.
Do you think that they see economic growth as the elixir that is going to buoy their electoral prospects and help Trump rebound in the public standing a bit? Because if they don't move tax reform in some material way, then you're looking at the end of the first year. Yes, you've seen some administrative state rollback, and obviously the Gorsuch success and some other appointees. And that's important. That's not understating it. But you're not going to see a signature piece of legislation done in the first year going into the midterms, and I assume it would get even more difficult next year.
Well, that's right. I completely agree with that, Dan. And the fact that the economy, I think, would not be able to get sort of full velocity going forward without bringing back the repatriation money, without cutting corporate rates, without cutting rates for the middle class in many ways, without stimulating, helping small businesses. So, yes, as you say, you can lift the regulatory burden in many ways, but fundamentally the tax everybody agrees that tax reform is needed. But again, it's one of those problems. People have been saying this for the better part of a decade. 1986 was the last big overhaul of the revenue system. Here we are, more than 30 years later, and it's due again, but it's not easy. But I agree, if he doesn't get that, then there is no signature issue in the first year and unlikely to be one in the second year. Again, I think that's why he's willing to negotiate with Democrats, too, because Republicans simply can't get it together to give the president his agenda. I mean, look, Democrats did this for Barack Obama. They whined, some of them, but they all went like lemmings right over the cliff. So Republicans, I think, there's a good argument to be made for standing up, for objecting, saying we don't want to do it your way, we want to do it this way. We agree we need tax reform, but not that tax reform. Okay, fine. But the consequence of that is if the president wants to get it done, he needs to work with Democrats, and that's what he's doing. I don't see any alternative other than sit there and wait.
Well, the other thing is it'd be nice if the president gave Republicans and the American people some things that they want that are overwhelmingly popular, that are wrongs to be remedied. And this is the most curious one to me, why there's been no action. John Koskinen at IRS. And then this letter that was sent by the Department of Justice to Kevin Brady, the chairman of Ways and Means, and Peter Roskam, who's the chairman of the subcommittee on tax policy. They have been beating the drum about prosecuting Lois Lerner. They made a referral for a criminal prosecution of Lois Lerner for going after people based on their religious and political beliefs with respect to IRS exempt designations. And the president doesn't remove the director, which is totally within his power. And now Department of Justice is saying they won't prosecute Lerner, who, of course, has taken the fifth before Congress. And the letter that they wrote, the Department of Justice sent to Brady and Peter Roskam, is not at all persuasive. And I just don't understand an abuse at this level that, frankly, is a supermajority position, weaponizing the IRS against people based on their political and religious beliefs. And the Trump administration has done nothing in this area, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, you raise a good point. I have to say, I think Jeff Sessions is a fine man. But I have written, and I continue to believe, that his appointment as Attorney General was a big mistake. I think the recusal that he did without notifying the president beforehand that he had to do it, and therefore the president could have picked somebody else for the position, I think has been a burden and continues to be a burden on the White House in many ways, not least of which, of course, is Robert Mueller, who was appointed by the Deputy Attorney General without the President's involvement, without really anybody from the White House. So the Justice Department on big issues has been outsourced to people who did not come in with Trump, did not come in as part of the Trump, brain trust or Trump campaign apparatus. This is why they were elected, but when they get there, they're stymied. But again, I think if we step back, this is one of the hazards of an outsider coming into government, where he doesn't understand all the nooks and crannies and how to negotiate. And that's where I think Sessions let President Trump down. Sessions understood these things, but he did not guide Trump properly. And so now they've hit a dead end on a couple of things. But I'm with you on the IRS. I don't understand why they haven't removed the commissioner. I don't understand the non-prosecution of Lois Lerner. It's just, at some point, if there isn't accountability, what is there from the Department of Justice?
And Mr. Goodwin, I just wanted to ask you about, the spending deal that President Trump's cut last week with, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. It funds Planned Parenthood, and I was just wondering, why isn't there more outrage from the conservative leadership on that? Because that's what he campaigned on, saying that he was going to end funding to Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, another good point. But I think that I would go back to the only answer that I can offer is that Republicans didn't have the votes to do it on their own. Many of them did not want the 3-month extension. And again, that's all this is. This is a 3-month extension for the debt limit and 3 months continuing resolution to keep the government open. All these issues will be have to be faced again in December. But again, I think the president simply didn't have the votes to do what the Republicans wanted to do, and they know it. I think that Planned Parenthood being funded is there because the Republicans could not deliver these issues on their own. They had too many objections. They couldn't come to an agreement. And I think also speed was one of these things. The president wanted this done quickly to get it out of the way so they could focus on tax reform. If Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan were still trying to round up votes for the debt limit and the continuing resolution and Harvey relief, there would be no talk of tax reform yet. That would still be the debate. And the president, I think, was very clear, and I was smart of him to do this, was to basically say, again, remember what was going on in Houston. We saw all these pictures and videos of people helping each other during the floods. And the president said, look at all this. People are suffering. They're helping each other. And we're going to sit here in Washington and fight about how much we should help them. I mean, I think his demand for an instant decision on this was the right one, to clear the decks, to let people know Washington hasn't forgotten you, and let's keep the government moving forward on tax reform. I think it was a smart decision, but I think it is who Trump is. He wants to get things done. And that, of course, is a clash with Congress, which wants to talk about getting it.
He is Michael Goodwin, New York Post columnist, Fox News contributor. Michael, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Coming up next, General Kelly verbally slaps down El Gallito. But first, here's your forecast. Beautiful sunshine today, a high of 76 degrees. Get out and enjoy, because tomorrow it'll be pretty mild, 73 degrees, but we have a strong chance of a shower on and off throughout the day. Now let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. You might want to walk instead of taking the inbound Kennedy. It's not going to take too much longer. Looking at an hour and 17-minute drive from O'Hare to downtown this morning. 44 minutes from Montrose, 32 in the Express. Outbound 49 at the airport. The Edens, 25 minutes. Light Cook to the Kennedy, outbound 33. The Eisenhower, an hour and a half from Thorndale to downtown. An hour 12 from Manheim, outbound 50 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 24 minutes, 3:55 to the drive, outbound 46 minutes. The Ryan from 95th to downtown is 33 minutes. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, late start at Bryn Mawr, 35 minutes, Hollywood to Monroe. Tri-State southbound, it's heavy, 21 to 176. Northbound, 111th to 47th. From the Reagan Tollway most to the way to Irving Park. Adams Tollway slowed 2E to the Tri-State. Reagan Tollway Randall to 59 and 53 to Highland. Veterans Memorial from I-55 most to the way to Roosevelt and Army Trail to 290. Northwest Indiana's fine. I'm Jim Talamonte, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, how would you like to have insurance for your computer network? Something to protect your hardware, software, and more importantly, give you peace of mind. Well, using locally owned and operated Turnkey IT for installation and support of your systems is like having insurance for your computer network. 365 days a year. Yes, even on the weekends. And for one affordable monthly payment, your company gets a full team of certified technicians. They offer Office 365 hosting, advanced network protection, cloud backup, disaster recovery. Yes, they make house calls, and unlimited remote, and that on-site support I just discussed. So find out what Turnkey IT can do for your company today. It's easy. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. I occasionally take new customer calls, and too often people tell me that they have heard our advertisements for years. If Balance of Nature is not currently being delivered to your doorstep, start now and begin experiencing the benefits of Balance of Nature in your life. Call and see how you can get your free month's supply.
I noticed a difference in the first month.
I got rid of most of my other vitamins. I feel pretty good, even though I'm an old guy, 77. I think it's doing great.
I just feel good. I just believe they're really what they say they are.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to find out how to get your free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
Gentlemen, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone and prostate numbers? I know mine. Low T Center made it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, I was able to get my results in minutes. And in honor of Prostate Health Month, Low T Center is offering a $50 testosterone and prostate level test in September. So, gentlemen, if you don't know your numbers, haven't made your deductible, or don't have insurance, take advantage of this limited time offer. I know at Low T Center, they'll take great care of you. Plus, it's quick, easy, and you'll get your results in about 20 minutes. Do yourself a favor and call 312-239-3427. 312-239-3427. Tell them Dad Prof sent you. That's me. Again, the number 312-239-3427, or you can visit them online at lowtcenter.com.
Coins and currency are full of history. Coins and currency are fun to look at. Coins and currency can be great investments and a great hobby, too. Here's your opportunity to see one of the largest coin shows in the nation. It's free. Make plans now to attend the 58th Coin and Currency Show, presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association. The show is at a new location, the Mega Center at the Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 21st through the 23rd. Admission and parking are free. Just bring your photo ID. Hundreds of dealers, the best from all over the country. See displays valued at millions of dollars, U.S. and world paper money, gold and silver bullion, and a lot more. This is a show for the whole family. The 58th Coin and Currency Show, presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 21st through the 23rd at the brand new location, the Mega Center at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Admission and parking are free with your photo ID. More info at ilnaclub.org. That's ilnaclub.org.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his two business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Bastuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
So, General John Kelly has responded to El Gaito.
Good. What did he say?
Remember, Luis Gutierrez said after the announcement of the president's position on DACA that General Kelly was, quote, a disgrace to the uniform he used to wear, unquote. Gold Star father, General John Kelly. Kelly responded saying, as far as the congressmen and other irresponsible members of Congress are concerned, they have the luxury of saying what they want as they do nothing and have almost no responsibility. They can call people liars, but it would be inappropriate for me to say the same thing back at them. As my blessed mother used to say, empty barrels make the most noise. Nice. Zing.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Owned. And by the way, Chicago Press Corps, please continue to ignore this story as you've done so diligently to this point.
Right. And no Democrats came out and slammed Gutierrez for what he said.
No Democrat was asked about it. Why would they slam him? Chicago Press Corps, anytime a Republican does anything untoward, every single Republican is asked about it. Is forced, not forced, but is,
they have a microphone shoved in their face.
There's an answer demanded. Yeah, there's an answer demanded. Luis Gutierrez says that about General Kelly.
No, nothing.
Nope.
Where's Senator Tammy Duckworth to decry what he said?
The big government left Chicago and Springfield Press Corps in Illinois, a co-conspirator in destroying the state. More evidence.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to our friend Congressman Sean Duffy from north of the Cheddar Curtain about the prospects for tax reform in the near term at 8:38.
And later, bad boss. Or was he just being responsible? But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
62, hazy sunshine. Winds and rain are gone now in Florida, counting the damage from Irma. The storm killed nearly a dozen. Millions have no electricity. The storm moved on to Georgia and South Carolina, drenching them, now less than a tropical depression. The UN Security Council is dropping more sanctions on North Korea. Security Council unanimously adopting new measures yesterday in response to the North's recent nuclear testing. Hillary Clinton's book launch tour drawing a crowd in New York City. Clinton signing copies of her book, What Happened, at a Barnes & Noble. Clinton promises she'll loosen up and let her guard down in the book. Nearly 24 class action lawsuits are targeting Equifax after a cyber breach that left some information of the 143 million people exposed to identity theft. Family of a Chicago woman desperately seeking answers after the 19-year-old was found dead over the weekend in a hotel freezer in Rosemont. Kanika Jenkins' mother wants to know what led to the discovery of her daughter's body.
My goal is to find out what exactly happened to my daughter, what exactly went on, and whatever went on, could someone tell me?
Authorities have not said how she died or why she was in that freezer in a vacant area of the hotel. Mayor Emanuel losing a top aide, according to the Sun-Times, who reports senior advisor Mike Rendina is leaving Friday to accept a private sector opportunity. Automobile mechanics throughout Chicagoland continue to walk picket lines after walking off the job August 1st. Members of the Automobile Mechanics Local 701 rejected again the latest offer from the group representing area auto dealers. Jose Abreu 4 for 5 with 2 RBI and a 17-hit attack as the White Sox beat the Royals 11-3. Cubs open up a 3-game series against the Mets tonight. The news service of Staples. Staples helps your business create color presentations for less. Now get 20% back in Staples rewards on color copies. Manuals and presentations, too, designed to impress. Staples, it's pro time. Offer ends 11/4/17. Exclusions apply. Go to staples.com/20color for more. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher gets a bad feeling about the North Korea situation.
My instincts generally serve me pretty well. I'm going to just tell you flat out, I have a very bad feeling about what Kim Jong-un is up to. And it's on him. But I have a bad feeling about this little chubby, weird dictator of North Korea.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Have you ever heard someone say that the pro-life community is really just pro-birth? That is, we only care about a baby up until the moment he or she is born. Aid for Women, Chicago Pregnancy Centers and Maternity Homes, is proof that such a claim is fake news. Aid for Women provides housing, parenting classes, mentoring, and genuine friendship to pregnant women in need, allowing them to choose life and setting them on a path to financial security and independence. At Aid for Women, they believe that the solution to a crisis pregnancy is to remove the crisis, not the child. You can learn more about how you can help Aid for Women by visiting their webpage at helpaidforwomen.org. Or join me at Aid for Women's annual banquet featuring keynote speaker Cal Thomas, award-winning journalist and author, on Thursday evening, September 14th at the Union League Club. Go to helpaidforwomen.org for reservations or more information on Aid for Women's life-saving network. Again, that website, helpaidforwomen.org.
8:35 and a check of your roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. 8094 westbound. We're now seeing mild delays from Grant to Klein. That's the only delay in northwest Indiana. The Edens inbound is slow from Peterson to the junction. 25 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 33. The Kennedy, an hour and 17 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Express lane save 10 minutes. Outbound 49 minutes to O'Hare. The Eisenhower's an hour and 30 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. An hour 12 from Manheim. Outbound 50 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 26 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 42 minutes. Ryan, 33 minutes. 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, jammed Bryn Mawr to North Avenue. Southbound Tri-State, heavy 21 to 176. Northbound, 111th, 47th. And from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park, Adams Tollway slowed 2-way to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial from I-55 to the Reagan Tollway. Butterfield to Roosevelt. And from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Pleasant day ahead, plenty of sunshine, high 75. We will be clear overnight with a low dropping to 56 and a high near 77 tomorrow. Currently 58 degrees at O'Hare, 62 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 9, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Are you sure your business is being seen online? Visit BeingSeen360.com to discover how being seen online can improve traffic, leads, and sales. BeingSeen360.com.
Coming up next, it's me, Mike Gallagher, right after Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. The prospects for GOP unity to move tax reform to the president's desk post-haste. Amy, I was at the Notre Dame game on Saturday night.
You were?
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
exciting game. What, 19-20? Yeah. Georgia?
20-19.
Excuse me. Oh,
Yeah.
20-19.
Yeah. Because Brian Kelly is the worst play caller in college. Well, Chuck Long now, but Chuck Long, Iowa.
Yeah.
Worst play caller in Division I. He was not too happy at the post-game press conference, probably because people were asking him how he explains being 5-11 his last 16 games with the best offensive talent in the country, which is a fair question. But that's not why I was bringing up the Notre Dame game. I was bringing it up because I saw Paul Ryan there.
Oh, you did?
He's the Speaker of the House, you know.
Yeah, I'm familiar. Fellow Catholic, right?
Yeah, his brother went to Notre Dame. So I
Mhm.
guess my understanding is Paul Ryan and his family go to one game with his brother each year, and this was the one. He was triangulated by mean-looking guys with earpieces, so I didn't get very close to him.
Did you wave like, hey, Paul, over here? It's Dan, Prof.
I was shouting questions at him, but he wasn't responding. And then I was asked to quiet down and mosey
Sir,
along.
We're going to have to ask you to sit down, please.
So in lieu of Paul Ryan answering my questions directly, we're pleased to be joined by his colleague in the Wisconsin delegation. He is Congressman Sean Duffy, also from north of the Cheddar Curtain. Congressman Duffy, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's great to be with you guys. Almost as good as Paul Ryan, just not quite as smart.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this Plan B. No,
No,
we're
I mean,
kidding. You're number one in our hearts.
We're
No, really, you
we're
are,
happy
Sean. We
we're
love
happy
you.
to have Sean. We're happy to have Paul Ryan's understudy. We understand it. No
We
problem.
remember you from the real world. It's okay.
As you were leading into that, I was thinking, we're going to have some great, hug fest.
No.
While we're hanging out talking tech. No, the security guys kept you away.
Yeah, you think Paul Ryan has time for me? Are you crazy? No way.
I thought so.
No way. No way. But anyway, so I'll ask the questions of you that I would have asked of him. Where does tax reform stand? That's number one.
So it's moving along. You have the House tax team working with the administration tax team in conjunction with the Senate tax team. Now, just we've talked a little bit about this, but tax reform has become a little more challenging for us because we don't have revenue that comes from Obamacare tax repeal, and we're not getting this border adjustment tax, which was about a 20% import tax in the country. So that was about $2 trillion that we now have to make up. And the reason behind that, I don't mean to get too complicated, but we're trying to do this with 51 votes, not the traditional 60 votes. And to do it with 51 votes, tax reform has to be revenue neutral.
Right.
So we're trying to figure out how do we make that happen, but we're making great progress. Now, I don't think you're going to see a corporate rate of 15%, but I think you're going to see something that's sub 25, which is a lot better than 35.
And what about on the personal marginal rate side?
I'm thinking 33 is kind of some of the at the top end is what I've heard. So it's not substantial reductions.
What about in the middle? What about in the middle?
I think you'll see more aggressive middle income tax cuts. Yeah, I mean I think there's a little less love for the wealthy Americans, but we're trying to give tax reform to middle America and lower income Americans.
Were you upset that President Trump? Can you hear me, Sean?
So I cannot. But I
sure.
We're well on our way. I mean, it's taking longer than we would have liked, but I think everyone needs to take heart in the fact that the conversations are happening, and it's just is, I think, Amy, you're probably going to go, what do you think about what happened with the debt deal and so it's important that our teams are working together, and they are, and they're making progress. And the House and the Senate don't want to move ahead of President Trump because all of a sudden you're going to get mean tweets from the president that might not be so pleasant.
Well, do you think President Trump, sided with Democratic leadership as a form of payback because of the health care bill being shot down by Republicans?
No, but to be clear, the House passed a repeal and replace of Obamacare. We had all but our 3 senators that we needed in the House. We could have lost 2. We lost 3 senators in the Senate, and that's what killed Obamacare replacement. So I think what happened was the president basically there's a strategy. So what you did is we had the debt limit, we had the funding the government, and we had money for Harvey and Irma in one bill. And Democrats were saying, we want a short-term, extension. We only want a 3-month deal. And Republicans were saying, well, let's go out, 6 months or a year so we can clear the deck and get tax reform done. Democrats in the end would have voted for a 6-month to a year deal. But instead of playing this out, which was the plan, Donald Trump basically bailed at the last minute and said, I'm going to cut a deal with Chuck and Nancy. And I think the president felt like he was going to clear the deck. And he did for this one moment, but what he's done is he's now given Democrats incredible leverage as we look to trying to get tax reform done, in November and December. They're going to have now the debt limit and the funding of the government all at the same time. I think that was foolish of the president and short-sighted of the president.
On tax reform, I know this can't get too complicated, otherwise you start to have people peel off, but it's a good piece in Washington Examiner by Adam Meyerson talking about the 3% solution as part of the goals of tax reform. And what he's referring to is tax policy that incentivizes more charitable giving to increase our national charitable giving from 2% of GDP to 3% of GDP, which is, turns out to be a huge number. Last year, Americans gave $390 billion. $390 billion of charity. And the idea, of course, is these platoons of democracy, as Burke referred to them, all these civic institutions that separate America from every other country, much more giving nation, much more focused on funding private organizations voluntarily for social services, for schooling, for a range of activities. And wouldn't that make sense to activate that community by encouraging more charitable giving? And you start to have private initiative address some of the societal ills that government has proven it's not particularly good at addressing.
I think that's a great idea. But I think the real driver of tax reform is to say, how do we incentivize American growth again?
But are the two mutually exclusive? The two are not mutually exclusive.
But I do think they are a little bit. I mean, in the sense that we're not getting growth from charitable giving. We're trying to say, well, our individuals, our churches, are going to give to charities that we think meet our morals and our values and accomplish goodwill on issues that I care about. And the government doesn't always do that. Politicians don't spend your money charitably like you would spend your money charitably. But in tax reform, we're seeing American businesses leave our country, taking jobs with them, going to other countries for no other reason that they can't afford to pay the American tax rate. We used to have a competitive tax code, but today the world has far surpassed us. I mean, in Ireland, you're sitting at around 12 and 13% of a corporate rate, and in America, we're at 35%. You can't compete in a global competitive environment when you're paying 3 times as much tax in America as you are somewhere else. And so if we want to encourage American businesses to come home, we have to radically reform our tax code. And that's what we're thinking about. And it's going to move us from the Obama era of 2% or sub 2% growth, getting us up to 3+% growth. And if we do that, our economy explodes. We have people going back to work with better wages. More revenue flows to the federal coffers. We can pay down our debt, and we can do other great projects like building bridges and roads and airports and schools. So I think that's the main driver. How do we help kickstart our economy by letting people spend their money instead of the government spend the money for them?
Yeah, and I'd like to keep more of our paycheck. And it sounds exciting, but how long until it's here? Be honest. Do you think a year from now, 6 months, 9 months?
Listen, you don't have 9 months. You don't have a year. You really have, I would say, 4 months, 5 months right now is the window that we have for tax reform. And so, again, if you get the administration, the House, and the Senate, at least on the Republican sides, agreeing to what this tax reform looks like, you're going to see it, I think, hopefully come out in the middle to the end of October. And this can happen, legislatively in a window of, 4 to 6 weeks. So I would argue that, around Thanksgiving, or as Paul Ryan says, if I'm channeling my Paul Ryan, around deer hunting in Wisconsin is when we want this done. And by the way, gun season.
Yeah.
Not muzzleloader or bow season. So
it's an important distinction. Yeah, right. Yes. Let me ask you this: does Paul Ryan still enjoy the confidence of most of the caucus?
He does. And so, though, the media likes to bash him over every problem that comes through the Congress, Paul Ryan is a fantastic leader. People trust him on policy. They trust him on the politics. And though everything doesn't go our way, everyone else likes to blame Paul Ryan, but we all see the sausage making and, who might be at fault for different problems that we have. And rarely do people go, oh my gosh, Paul Ryan is the fault of what's happening in Washington. We see there's other problems that are taking place. And, so no, the quick answer is Paul Ryan does enjoy the confidence of our conference. You have to think about this. We have in the Republican Party, we have very conservative people. You might go look at South Carolina and some guys from Texas, in conjunction with people from New York and California. And those Republicans, some are moderate, some are conservative. You have to be able to bring them all together and agree on a certain set of policies. And they always don't share the same values and priorities that their constituents have. And so it's Paul Ryan's job to go, okay, we got to figure this out. We got to grow together and figure out how we can all get on the same page. And if you look at what happened in healthcare reform, we failed at the start. You saw Paul Ryan put a bill on the floor that he thought enjoyed a lot of support from his conference. When it wasn't going to pass, he pulled it and said, okay, you conservatives in the Freedom Caucus, you're going to sit down with the Tuesday group moderates. You guys figure it out. I'm going to take myself out of this conversation. And when he did that, they actually sat down, they negotiated, they found a compromise amongst themselves, and we actually passed healthcare reform. That was a great growth moment for us in the House, and it's because Paul Ryan had the vision to say, success comes when I step out and let these other members step in and work it out amongst themselves.
All right. He is Congressman Sean Duffy, Republican representative from Wisconsin's 7th Congressional District. Sean, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. And one last message, go Pack Go.
Okay. All right. Well, this conversation's going to have to end.
Get that in. Thanks for the call, Sean. Thanks for joining us, Sean. Appreciate
Eddie joined us on our Turnkey.Pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Does how you feel interfere with your lifestyle? Take control before it does. Harvard Medical recently published a paper on how to decrease your risk of cancer, heart disease, blood pressure, diabetes, bowel and vision problems. The answer, backed by dozens of studies, is not vitamins. It's eating more fruits and vegetables in their whole, complete form. 4 simple tips that I've used with my patients over the years are: 1. Keep fruits and vegetables where you can see them readily. 2. Get crazy. Explore the produce aisle and choose something new. 3. Make it a meal. Try new recipes that include more vegetables and fruits. And the easiest of all, to get the complete nutrition of 31 different fruits and vegetables every day, take Balance of Nature.
What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
Upstream-ideas.com, the digital platform that complements what we do on the show each morning. Original content in the form of Against the Current long-form interviews, still featuring Maze Jackson and Charles Thomas, the WVON morning team, talking about race and politics. You want to check that out. Man on the Street interviews in our Follow the Logic series this week, following the logic of Governor Rauner's decision to sign sanctuary state legislation. We put that to Illinois residents. 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries from me, 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes, the Illinois Opportunity Project. Our new series, Heart of the Matter, which features professional women speaking colleague to colleague about the salient issues of the day and their impact on household budgets. And podcast of our Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics that airs Sundays at 3 p.m. on these airwaves. It's all at upstream-ideas.com.
When was the last time you thought about the HVAC system that works 24/7 to keep you comfortable and in business? One of the most important, yet overlooked aspects of life in the 21st century is reliable climate control for both people and product. It's one of the many things we take for granted. We'll be warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Then there's a failure or utility bill that's sky high. Avoid unpleasant surprises with your indoor comfort. For repairs and preventative maintenance on your commercial and industrial HVAC systems, call EHMS Mechanical Services. The equipment that maintains the environment you work in and supports the products you make is so important. When it fails, you'll need EHMS Mechanical Services, one of the fastest response commercial HVAC companies in Chicagoland. Help lower the overall cost of your HVAC equipment with comprehensive maintenance programs, energy-reducing retrofits, and rapid response service from EHMS Mechanical Services. Call 847-801-1000 or lovemyhvac.com.
If you have a new or existing business, understanding building and zoning codes, obtaining permits, licenses, and inspections can be a time-consuming nightmare. Well, I got a guy. I should say a fine company. Premier Consulting Group, and my friend Bill Gritsonis is the company to call. From city and suburban retail business to residential and high-rise building permits, PCG holds your hand from the beginning to the very end. Bill and his veteran team have decades of experience and a commitment to meeting client needs. Your business will benefit from expedited permits and the peace of mind knowing that your business is in complete compliance. So I highly suggest you call my guy, Bill Gritsonis, and his team at Premier Consulting Group before your next project. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit PCGconsultinginc.com. That number, 312-263-4599, or online at pcgconsultinginc.com. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit pcgconsultinginc.com.
If you have pain, I hope you listen up. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of the side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you could be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com.
Are you satisfied that your business is being seen effectively online? Call 866-SEEN-360 and discover how to capture a larger share of traffic, leads, and sales from your online advertising budget. Call 866-SEEN-360 for a proven system to market your business in the digital world that includes unique reporting that tracks and confirms that you're being seen. Call 866-SEEN-360 today and talk to digital experts who can provide your business with a comprehensive strategy. That's 866-SEEN-360.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think, too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-700-5593. That's 1-800-700-5593. 1-800-700-5593.
Are you satisfied that your business is being seen effectively online? Call 866-SEEN-360 and discover how to capture a larger share of traffic, leads, and sales from your online advertising budget. Call 866-SEEN-360 for a proven system to market your business in the digital world that includes unique reporting that tracks and confirms that you're being seen. Call 866-SEEN-360 today and talk to digital experts who can provide your business with a comprehensive strategy. That's 866-SEEN-360.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. All right, you've got some reactions to our Sean Duffy interview. Let's take a couple calls on tax reform. Yay. Scott on the West Side. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan and Amy. Thanks for taking my call. Dan and Amy, here, let me break the news to everyone. Tax reform isn't going to happen. Just like repeal and replace of Obamacare isn't going to happen. The people in Washington, D.C. have a vested interest in keeping things the way that they are, and that's what's going to happen. Anytime a newly elected official goes to Washington, D.C., they sit him down and they straighten him out right away the first week, and they let him know that not to make waves because nothing's going to happen. They're all going to get their cake and eat it, too, if they keep things in the status quo.
Scott, thanks for the call. I mean,
I've got more hope for tax reform.
Yeah, it's very cynical. I hope you're wrong, but appreciate the call. Jeff in Mundelein.
You know, Duffy says Ireland's at 12% and we're at 35%. That's 3 times higher. We got to do something about it. Well, maybe we can get it down to 25%. That's still 2 times higher. What the heck good is that going to do us?
Well, I mean, it's much.
It's the lobbyists and
well,
the Congress. That's all it's ever about for these people.
Thanks for the call, Jeff. I mean, lowering it below 25 would make a material difference, and it would certainly incentivize a lot of repatriation of overseas profits because it's not just Ireland, obviously, that's at issue. It's the world over, and I think the international average is about 22%. So if we treat capital the same way that some of our European allies do and other countries, then it encourages people to park their profits in America, and that would make a big difference. So I actually think if you get it around the international average, then you're going to see onshoring of corporate profits, which would be a good thing.
Well, thanks so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick, our technical director, and Keith Conrad, our executive producer. We're back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, here are the stories we're watching right now. Mayor Emanuel losing a top aide. A new poll of Cook County voters